Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with, now they looking nervously. And I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
There we go. I bet you I fixed it this time, didn't I? Sorry, guys. My microphone was muted. Thank you for coming. Welcome, Daniel, Retro Kitten, Freestyle, Dave. Good thing I didn't go through my hellos yet. Wyoming. Otherwise, I really would have looked a fool, right? Because, woo, that would have been fun. It really would have looked bad if I would have started playing the actual trial, right? That would have been fun. No, instead I was over here bickering because I was trying to pull you guys up on my phone so that way I have chat on my phone. and we can go from there. I'm also trying to plug in my doohickeys, you know, all my devices that'll, I don't know, probably one day get me fired. Who knows? I don't know. That'll come before anything else. I mean, right? Because of all my doohickeys, my devices that I got to play with every night. Oh, can't just be simple. Can't be just simple. Wait, that's wrong. That's wrong. Wait. Guys, I don't even know what I have going on here. I don't know. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We'll get there. Just 1 second. Trying to plug everything in. We got to have everything charging while I'm not using it. And of course, I was running late, dealing with other things. Welcome. So tonight we're going to continue on with playing of the trial of Christopher Gregor in the case of his cousin, the death of his 6-year-old son, Corey. We left off with Mom on the witness stand, and we're gonna jump right on in tonight. I'm gonna forewarn you, it was a chaotic day, obviously, as you guys could probably tell by the start of this, but it's been a chaotic day. So I wasn't able to look in on anything that Greg sent me last night. Don't bring me through the ringers and all of that. We'll get to that once I can figure out, once I get more into the hang of all of everything, Okay, let's go ahead and pull. Well, I did have a present screen and everything was all ready, but I guess I took it down. Good thing it's just a matter of a couple clicks to get it back up, right? Can you guys all still hear me? Are you all still here? Are we here? Are we here? Unsure if you all can hear me or if anybody's here. Okay. I hear myself. Thank you for being a member for 5 months, though, Retro. You're a doll. I appreciate that so much. Thanks for sticking around, Wyoming. I see we lost some peoples, but it's okay. We're going to continue this, whether anybody's here or not. I did get a few that came back and watched on the replay throughout the time being, so yay for that. Thank you for that. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue. Remember, we're watching in 1.5 speed. We're going to try to catch up, hopefully be fully caught up by the end of this weekend. So Monday, we can start with the trial for Monday that takes place. I do believe there's going to be part of it. They may have, I'm not sure. I wasn't able to keep caught up today. As I was saying, it's been a pretty hectic day for me. But we are going to continue here at the 37-minute mark. And this one's an hour and 49 minutes. Now, there's one thing that I do remember that they were saying with this one, they're not able to stream live. The judge has put a ban against live streaming this trial. So we kind of are stuck. We got to be at least a half hour behind what is happening in court anyhow. So no matter even if we were up to date, we'll still always be a half hour behind things. And I'm guessing that that's probably for the safety of jurors, and being released on breaks or just the typicals that I would probably have to be taking place and happening. Here is the link to the channel and the episode we are watching and going over. If anybody wants to watch, however, and come back and join chat, that's always welcome. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start.
We'll go back to court in just a minute, but first, new developments in the case against alleged murderer Bryan Kohberger.
The state is now responding to Kohberger's alibi.
It seems so much faster
saying
tonight.
it isn't detailed enough to clear the defendant of these crimes. Now, earlier this month, Kohberger's defense team said their client was driving around in the early hours of November 13th, 2022.
Does that sound faster
as he
tonight?
often did, to hike and run and or see the moon and stars.
In response, the state said, quote, the defendant's supplemental alibi response continues to lack the specificity required by Idaho Code 19-519, which provides that the defense shall state the specific place or places at which the defendant claims seems to have been at the time of the alleged offense.
The state then goes on to say the defendant is offering nothing new to his initial alibi, that he was simply driving around during the morning hours of November 13, 2020.
I agree, Michael. I don't think that's too much of an alibi to keep it that general.
No,
we might
and
have to do
he's still not
1.5
saying where he was during the period where at least the state says
1.25.
the murders occurred.
All right, and that's part of the reason they see it as an alibi defense.
Exactly.
All right, we're
who
the
knows?
death.
Who faces life in prison. Let's get you back inside that courtroom where we're hearing from Corey's mother, Brianna Mitchell.
March 30th of 2021, did you contact the pediatrician about getting Corey an appointment?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors why you contacted the pediatrician?
Well, because I suspected that Corey was being abused,
David,
and
it's not me.
I went on the advice of a DCPMP worker.
Objection. So sustained. You should strike that. That's hearsay that someone else told or something. So you should strike that, not consider it. If the state calls that person, then we'll deal with it at that time. Thank you.
Did you get an appointment with the pediatrician?
Yes.
And what day was the appointment scheduled for?
April 1st.
And April 1st was a Thursday? And what time was the appointment scheduled for, Brianna?
Around 5,
And why did you make the appointment at 5?
because that's when my parenting time was.
And who was the appointment made with? What pediatrician?
IV Pediatrics.
And did you have a conversation with the DCPMP caseworker?
Yes.
Without telling us the conversation, what was the caseworker's name?
Name,
Yes.
Mark Waltonowski.
Calling your attention to March 31st of 2021, did you file an emergent application for full custody of Corey with the family court?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors why you did this?
I was in fear for Corey's life.
And was DCPMP involved in this process?
Yes.
Now, on April 1st of 2021, what time did you pick up Corey that day for visitation?
Around 4:30.
And after you picked up Corey, where did you take him?
To the pediatrician.
And what was the name of the pediatrician or the practice?
IV Pediatrics.
And what town was the pediatrician located in?
Toms River.
And when you picked up Corey that day, what was Corey's demeanor?
He was fine.
And when you picked up Corey that day, what was his physical condition?
He still had some bruises, but other than that, he was normal.
And when you got to the pediatrician's office, did Corey speak to the doctor?
Yes.
And was Corey examined by the doctor?
Yes,
And did you speak to the doctor?
I did.
Now, based upon this conversation, where did you take Corey next?
The community medical center.
And where is Community Medical Center located?
I believe in Toms River.
And why did you take Corey to Community Medical Center in Toms River?
To be examined further, and he needed to get.
Okay, so remember we left off with the mom when she was testifying about bringing little Corey to the doctor's office, and how we were talking about how she sounds like, you know, she's got nothing to hide. She's not trying to hide anything. She's being legit, and she does seem like she's telling the truth about the way things happen. Well, at least that's the way some of us was feeling. Others may not have made an opinion on the case yet. If you haven't, please go back. If you've missed part 1 of this, I have that available up still, and probably will always. So you're more than welcome to go back and watch part 1 of this. If one of my mods has the link to that, if they can get it, that would be greatly appreciated, guys. I'm going to try not to unmute and speak as much tonight, as I'm going to try to get some things done here. So sorry, I fell asleep last night. Wyoming, you're good. Hey, it happens. It happens. Hopefully you were able to catch up though sometime today or tomorrow. Maybe whenever you can catch up. So I don't know. I think you were here at the end of everything. I swear. You didn't say you fell asleep anyways. You may have and just didn't tell us. You woke up as we were ending. Is that how it went?
X-rays and blood work.
Okay. And while you were either at the pediatrician or on your way to Community Medical Center, did you receive the family court order regarding your emergent application?
Sorry, guys. I'm
Yes.
adjusting the volume. Let me know if that's okay. Is that
You have
probably
permission
okay?
to approach?
Yes,
Just trying to do a little boost.
Brianna, I'm now showing you what's been marked S17 for
I muted
identification
and said thank
purposes.
you, Wyoming.
And
Thanks.
can you please read the caption at the top of, to saying that who the
Okay.
court order is from.
Honorable Patrick Bradshaw, JSC, Superior Court of New Jersey, Chancery Division, Family Part.
Okay. Now, calling your attention to this order, can you tell us who opened this court order?
I did.
Okay. And the court, can you read on the first paragraph, starting with, and the court having considered, what the court considered?
Objection. What's the basic position?
How would you know what the court considered?
It's in a
Well,
document,
I
Judge.
think the question is that the order recites what the court considered. Do you have an objection to that? Nope. All right, thank you.
But that's the question. Can you read off the order,
Right
please?
here.
Yeah, you could start with.
Okay, and the court having considered the paper submitted and the court having reviewed a letter of investigatory findings submitted by the Department of Child Protection and Permanency and good cause having been shown, it is on this first day of April 2021 ordered as follows.
Okay. And as the court order continues, you were denied your request for emergent custody, correct?
Correct.
And then continuing with this order, specifically in subsection 2, can you read for the jury what the court?
Awesome. I wanted to say, I still don't understand the whole point of having to bring all of this up. I mean, yeah, the courts failed at that point in time for that for little Corey, you know. I almost said that little boy, but I mean, he has a name and he has every right to be acknowledged. So, I'm just a little unsure how I want to address everything on this channel still. So, but however, I do want things to be very somewhat, for the most part, an unbiased kind of outlook of things. You know, we will make decisions when decisions come. Like I said, I would like to do like court trials and stuff over here in discussions about that. So, it will all, for the most part, stay pretty well, you know, unbiased or biased, however you want to say it, depending on the trials, I guess, and the evidence coming forward. That's how I would like to have this channel. We're not going to cover, you know, we might put out bulletins of missings or updates, however, but as for speculations and continual coverage of day-to-day happenings, I don't really want to do that, because I feel like that's how a lot of these channels are becoming messy. I just rather stick to the facts, you know, stick all to the facts here and listen to trials and go based on that. By the way, hi, Johnny. Thank you for stopping.
Orders.
It says, upon recommendation by DCPMP, this court orders that the party's minor child, Corey, undergo a CPC evaluation as a part of its ongoing investigation. The party.
Okay, I could just stop you there. And a CPC evaluation, that would in essence be an examination for what was going on with Corey and the bruising, correct? It doesn't matter, Judge. I can withdraw the question.
Well, it's leading, so
Okay.
it's a state.
We'll go to subsection 3, if you could read for what the order says.
The court also orders the parties to confer with one another to agree upon a date and time in which Corey shall be made available for an examination by his pediatrician regarding Corey's bruising within 7 days of this order.
Okay.
Bruising.
Says.
The court also orders the parties to confer with one another to agree upon a date and time in which Corey shall be made available for an examination by his pediatrician regarding Corey's bruising within 7 days of this order.
Okay.
So they are actually ordering these parents to go to see the pediatrician to find out and to get confirmation and, you know, to lower the effects of concern for these bruisings. They were clearly bad at this point. And as you know, within time, it's not a bruise. For instance, if it's a bad bruise, it gets darker over the next following days. And that's when they become more relevant and appear more for most bruises. So if they were appearing to be to the point to where the doctor's saying, no, you need to take him, or the judge is saying you need to take him and have him seen. It just questions how bad were these bruises on this little boy. Corey, his dad, he seems like a stubborn ass, to put it nicely.
Now, after Corey was at the pediatrician, where did you take him next?
To the hospital,
And what hospital again did you take him to?
Community Medical Center,
And how did you drive Corey to Community Medical Center?
in my car.
And what was Corey's physical condition while in the car?
He was okay.
And can you tell the jurors what Corey's demeanor was when he was in the car?
Same as always, he was normal.
And about what time did you arrive at Community Medical Center?
Probably like between 6 and 7.
And was Corey examined at Community Medical Center?
Yes,
And what department was this in?
the emergency room.
And did Corey speak to the doctor?
Yes,
And did you speak to the doctor?
yes.
And based upon your conversation, where did you take Corey next?
Jersey Shore Medical Center.
Now, while you were at Community Medical Center, before you got to Jersey Shore, did the defendant send you a text message as to where you were?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach. Seven. Maria. Okay, I'm now showing you what has been marked as 7 for identification purposes. And do you recognize these?
Yes.
And are these what?
Text messages between me and the defendant.
Okay. And calling your attention on S7, in particular to the first text message contained in the document, can you please tell the jury what the defendant texted you?
Judge, I can't object since it's a document, not in evidence. I don't know how she could read from it.
Your Honor, we already had a 104 hearing where
We're moving to evidence?
I can move that into evidence. I was going to do it at the end, but
Okay, I'll agree to that.
okay. So I have the other ones too. I can move into evidence. So the state will move it into evidence as well.
So ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear about these text messages, the statements of the defendant. You can consider his statements. I'm going to give you an instruction later.
And again, she's describing that Corey was fine. He was in fine physical condition. He was okay in the car as she's taking him to the next hospital for more tests. And I think what the doctors say about what happened to this child is at the center of this case and whether or not the abuse. So
Yeah.
there's going to need to be a lot of medical evidence in this case. But when we come back, you don't want to miss it.
This woman who chooses with
State.
I'll ask you to consider them at the end of the case in
Again.
connection with that instruction. In addition, in terms of the statements of Ms. Michelot, they're actually hearsay, but she's here testifying about it. So allowing in for that reason, I concluded it wouldn't make much sense for me just to give you the defendant's statements or responses if you couldn't see the other half of the conversation. So in order to be able to give you a full picture, I'm allowing both Ms. Michelot's messages and the defendant's alleged responses into evidence in order to give you that context to be able to analyze them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so turning your attention then to S7 in particular at the top of the page at approximately 4:01 at can you read the time for the jurors?
7:26.
Okay, and what did the defendant text you?
He said, "Where are you?"
And what did he text you next?
He said, "It'll be past 7:30 and I will take over and be with my son."
And what did he say after that?
I have no idea where you are and you will not tell me on the phone. Why is that? You were past your time by the court order and I want to be there for my son.
And what was your response to that?
I said, "I am driving to Jersey Shore Medical Center. I'm doing what a caseworker for DCPMP told me to do."
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Brianna, while
So here we have the dad upset because mom is late getting son home from visitation. And he knew, he was given the heads up she was going to bring him in. They were ordered by the courts to seek medical assistance in the issue of the bruising that Corey had on him. And Dad knows this. Dad clearly knows this. Mom is only following what is being told to her by the doctors, and you have Dad upset, throwing a fit, basically, hands and knees, like a little 2-year-old down the store floor, throwing a fit because he can't have that piece of candy that he wanted, and he's not getting his way and having him home right away. In my own opinion, it's a little bit of concern.
You were at Community Medical Center.
You have to hide.
Did you sign Corey out of the hospital?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors why you did this?
Because I wanted to drive him myself to Jersey Shore Medical Center.
And why did you want to drive him yourself to Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Because I was already late and I didn't want to spend another 30 minutes waiting.
And what had the hospital offered at the time?
To transport Corey.
Now, while Corey...
So like we were saying yesterday, there was obviously a backup when it came to transportation to transport him due to the COVID happening at that time that was putting medical transportation on a backlog. And he wouldn't have been transferred right away. So she chose, like we said yesterday, to sign him out and transport him herself. It would have got her there quicker and hopefully seen faster. I mean, I've had ambulance bring me in, lights going, and I've had to wait in the waiting room because I wasn't of top priority at that time because there was other things happening at the same time I came in. And that was in the midst of the COVID era also. So imagine that. You don't always get to go into a room right away and be seen right away just because you're brought in by medical transport. So she chose to sign him out and bring him herself as she knew she was already running late.
Was at Community Medical Center. Was he physically examined?
Yes.
And what was Corey's condition at Community Medical Center?
He was fine.
Now, did Jersey Shore Medical Center have a pediatric abuse specialist on staff?
Yes.
And while all this was happening, did you speak to Bart, the DCP&P worker?
Yes.
Now, after you and Corey left Community Medical Center, where did you immediately go?
Jersey Shore Medical Center.
And what was Corey's physical condition while you were with Corey in the car?
Fine. He was just watching videos on my phone.
And what was Corey's demeanor?
Normal, happy.
Now, approximately what time did you arrive at Jersey Shore Medical Center with Corey?
Around 8.
And did you speak to the doctor at Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Yes.
And did Corey speak to the doctor at Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Yes.
And what was Corey's demeanor while at Jersey Shore Medical Center?
He was okay. He was just a little tired because it was getting late.
And was Corey examined by a doctor at Jersey Shore Medical Center?
He was.
And what tests were performed on Corey at Jersey Shore Medical Center?
He had an x-ray and blood work.
And while Corey was at Jersey Shore Medical Center, was he seen by the pediatric abuse specialist?
I believe so.
Or is he seen by an emergency room doctor?
I think it was an emergency room doctor.
Now, while you were at Jersey Shore Medical Center on April 1st of 2021, did you have a telephone conversation with the defendant?
Yes.
And about what time did that conversation occur?
Around 8:30.
And can you tell us about the conversation you had with the defendant?
He called me and
So from the sounds of it, it's not like she is actually, you know what I mean, hiding anything or trying not to bring the dad into loops as to what's happening. It seems like she's keeping him up to date. You know, hey, we got here, and she's doing everything that she could possibly do correctly by the books.
he asked me to leave the hospital.
And after being put in this kind of type of situation, you know.
with Corey, and I said I wouldn't. I want him to be checked out, and then he started just verbally attacking me and fighting with me.
And did the defendant know that you were at Jersey Shore Hospital with Corey?
Yes.
And can you tell us what happened at the hospital regarding your cell phone?
My phone died.
Now, at 11:43 p.m., did the defendant send you a text message asking you where you were?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach?
Yes.
It does fit him well, Wyoming. It does.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to give you that instruction now. We're getting into a lot of statements allegedly made by Mr. Greger. So some of these are written electronically, say by text message, and now we're talking.
All right, still with us to help break it down, trial attorney Lateef Gray. Lateef, here's what I always struggle with is at this moment in time, she's doing everything right. She took him to the pediatrician. They sent her to the community medical center. They saw a pediatric abuse specialist.
Sorry, guys.
He was then sent to Jersey.
Organizing things over here.
Here to respond. And I disagree that the mother did everything right.
Oh,
They told her
this picture of little Corey that his mom took on one of their most recent visits that they had before all this happened and took place. He's so cute. But that was them at the park. Let's.
She did do the follow court, but it appeared that she did.
That's the reason, but I don't know.
talk a little bit about pediatric.
All right.
You can say, looking at x-rays, looking at the test, we can tell you we have all of these old.
Then deduce, if you're a jury, that there was any abuse going on between the 20th and
Just
that
to
day.
look at
I
the-
think only if you have medical experts who can say,
complex.
looking at x-rays, looking at the test, we can tell you we have all of these old injuries that had to have been blunt force trauma, for instance. Otherwise, I think it's hard to prove.
All right, so those are real big questions in this case, folks. Stick around. Coming up, that treadmill video.
Okay.
Live on Michael Ayala
And I'm Judge Ashley.
and the killer oil cover-up.
Trial in Greger making his son get on the treadmill multiple times, but they claim Corey's death was not murder. Corey's mother, Brianna Michelow, is still on the stand for direct examination by the state. Let's get you back inside the courtroom.
So, Brianna, at approximately 11:43 p.m., while you were at Jersey Shore Medical Center, did the defendant send you a text message asking where you were?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Okay, Brianna, I'm now showing you what's been marked S8 for identification purposes. And do you recognize that?
Yes.
And those are text messages from your phone?
Yes.
And you're familiar with those text messages?
I am.
Your Honor, permission to enter into evidence and publish?
Certainly, so that's S8.
S8.
Any objection? None. S8 in evidence.
Okay, now calling your attention to the first
I'm with you, Wyoming.
message. Can you tell the jurors what the defendant said to you and what time that this occurred?
At 11:43, the defendant said, "Why are you now ignoring me?"
And can you tell the jurors what your response was?
I said, "My phone died and I just got a charger. I'm at the hospital because DCPMP spoke to doctors and they told me to come here. You could have came here from the beginning. You said no, drop him off. We could have taken turns the whole time. I'm not doing anything wrong. Stay up and I'll drop him off as soon as we're done."
Can you please turn the page?
Again, he's keeping
Now
him
calling your
updated
attention,
and
can you
telling them
please
it was
continue
your choice. You didn't
to
know.
read the first two messages with the dates and the time as well to the jury?
On 4/1/21 at 11:52, I said, "You're not going to stay awake." And then on 4/2/21 at 12:48, I said, "How are you going to go to court and say anything about me keeping him? You won't even stay up for me to drop him off, and I'm offering now."
Okay. Thank you. Now, after those text messages, when is the next time you heard from the defendant?
The next morning, or that morning.
He reminds me of a big man baby.
Now, was Corey released from Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors about his blood work?
It was all normal.
And what about in regard to any x-rays or scans?
That was normal as well.
And was that text message at approximately 11:43, was that the last time that you had contact?
So remember, the defense is he died from sepsis. caused by an infection within his bloodstreams. However, the night before bringing him home before his passing, he had no sepsis in his bloodstream. His labs were good to go. He didn't have any sepsis the night prior. Now, don't get me wrong, sepsis could have possibly, all of a sudden appeared, in between said time and said time. But you're talking from what, 1 a.m. until 3 p.m. when he goes back in and passes away by 5 p.m. It's just a little bit on the side of things, if you know what I mean. A little questionable. How long does it take for sepsis to get in the bloodstream? I'll look that up.
Evening.
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors why would you try to bring Corey back to his father's house from Jersey Shore Medical Center?
So I didn't break the court order.
Now, after you left Jersey Shore with Corey, can you tell the jurors where you went?
I went to my house in Englishtown.
And how long of a ride was it?
About 45 minutes.
And what was Corey's demeanor in the car ride?
He was tired. It was 1 a.m. and he fell asleep in the car.
And about what time did you then arrive at your home?
I want to say like around 1:30.
Okay. And when you got to your house, can you tell us who was awake?
No one.
And when you got to your house, where did you and Corey immediately go?
We went to my bedroom.
And where was your bedroom located in the house?
In the basement.
And where did you and Corey sleep that night?
We slept in my bed.
Okay. And while you slept in bed with Corey, what was his physical condition?
He was okay.
And can you tell the jurors what Corey's demeanor was while you slept in bed with him?
Normal.
And can you tell the jurors why you slept in bed with Corey that night?
It was just easier because it was really late and I just didn't want to get him ready in his room.
What time did you and Corey wake up the next morning?
Around 7:30.
And when Corey woke up, did you dress him?
Yes.
And where did you dress Corey?
In my room.
And what did you dress Corey in?
I put him in a sweatshirt, jeans, and sneakers.
And what about his underwear?
They were blue underwear.
And what was the condition of the clothes that you dressed Corey in?
They were clean.
And after you dressed Corey, where did the two of you then go?
We ate breakfast in the kitchen.
And when you went upstairs to eat breakfast in the kitchen, who was there?
My mom and her boyfriend, Richie.
And did Corey have breakfast?
Yes.
And did he eat?
He did.
And do you remember what he ate?
He ate a bagel and a Go-Gurt.
And were you with Corey the entire time that he was eating breakfast?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors what was Corey's physical condition in the morning when he was eating breakfast?
He was okay.
And what about his demeanor?
Normal. He was fine.
Now, that morning of the 2nd at approximately 6:48 a.m., did you receive a text message from the defendant?
Yes.
You're under permission to approach the witness.
Yes.
Is he up to the rest of them? You saw him already?
Okay.
Brandon, I'm now showing you what's been marked essay, which has already been admitted to evidence. Turning your attention to the text message conversation. Can you please tell the jurors what the defendant said, starting with that particular message, and can you let the jurors know the time and the date as well?
Okay. On 4/2/21 at 6:46 a.m., he said, "I'm going to court because you decided to go when you had 7 days last night, and by your text, you were still there at 12:50 at night. You are a detriment to Corey's health, and I will be going to court today about it."
And can you read the next message from the defendant as well?
Yes,
Let's just may
6:46.
reveal the
He said,
following
"By the way,
kinds of
school
stuff."
starts at 8:30, so have him back before 8:30.
How long does it take for blood culture to show sepsis? Usually
Now, after
takes
Corey
2
had
to 4
breakfast,
days.
where did you drive to?
To the defendant's house.
Only an
And when you were driving
accurate
to the
antibiotic
defendant's
is vital.
house in Barnegat, where was Corey seated in the car?
He was in the back seat.
And how long of it was a drive to Barnegat?
About an hour.
And
Within
what
10
was Corey
minutes,
doing while you
a
were
test can
driving to
identify whether a
Barnegat
person has
with him
high,
in the car?
medium, or
He
low
was watching YouTube on my phone.
probability of developing
And what was
sepsis
Corey's
according
demeanor in
to
the car?
clinical
He was
trials.
okay.
Now, while you were driving Corey to
Okay.
Barnegat, did you receive a text
Let
message?
me pause that. I'm going to come back and read as I was trying to make sure I was thoroughly checking different things. I don't understand how someone, okay, our kids are the future. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's too quick. My neighbor passed away from it and didn't know he had it, but it took many days. Right. That's what the medical examiner said. He had a ruptured liver and cyst. Thought he had flu. That's what I thought. Yeah. Well, also remember that that's the medical examiner that said, wasn't it that it was either unable to know the cause, or it was the one that said homicide. It was one of those ones that said it. However, the defense is going with the whole line of sepsis. But even if that were the case, if he had sepsis to the point of being the cause of his passing away, wouldn't that have at least been detected some way, somehow, by all the medical examiners then? I mean, you just don't develop the signs of it probably any further after the passing, right? It would already just have to be detectable in the bloodstream. I mean, I don't know the whole workings of a body that's, fully passed away, and how much longer after, passing away does a infection of the bloodstream continue to form it. I'm no expert on that, but I don't know. It just still seems funny because, just hours before it wasn't detected. And then all of a sudden, after all of this and 2 other autopsies and medical examinations, all of a sudden he has the sepsis in his bloodstream.
From the defendant.
Curious to know if the sepsis is in any of the other medical reports. I guess that's what I'm asking.
I did.
The hospital should have found it then before he left the hospital with the blood test. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Your Honor, permission to approach?
Yes.
Grant, I'm now showing you what has been marked S9 for identification purposes. Do you recognize this?
Yes,
And you're familiar with that?
I am.
And is that a text message that you received from the defendant, which was located on your phone?
Yes.
And can you please tell the jurors what the defendant texted you, including the date and the time of the text message?
Yes. On 4/2/21 at 8:37 a.m., he said, I mean, considering you did kidnap my son for an entire day and night, the minimum that is happening is an entire day and night is going to be removed from your next visit maximum. Hopefully the courts will agree with my application this morning and you will lose all rights.
The court ordered you guys to do this. Oh my God, he's pissing me off.
Now, when you got to the defendant's apartment complex to drop off Corey, where did you park?
In front of the defendant's home.
And about what time did you get to the
So sorry to
apartment
hear that,
complex to
Miami.
drop off Corey that morning?
Hey, Alfie.
Around 9 a.m.
And when you got there, where was the defendant's car?
I'm not sure. It wasn't there.
And did you text the defendant asking where he was?
Yes.
And what did the defendant say to you in regard to where he was?
He said he was home.
And before Corey had left the car, did you provide Corey with a piece of paper?
I did.
And what did you give Corey?
It was a paper from the hospital that had information so the defendant could look at his records.
And why did you do that?
I was just being nice.
And did you speak to Corey in the car before you sent him into the defendant's home?
I did.
And was that the last time that you spoke to Corey?
Was.
Did Corey exit your car?
He did.
And can you tell the jurors where Corey walked?
He walked inside defendant's home.
And how was Corey walking when he went to the defendant's apartment?
Fine.
And did Corey open the apartment door of the defendant's apartment?
Yes.
Now, continuing on, in the morning of April 2nd of 2021,
So by all logical sight, you know, in all of that, from the sounds of everything was good with Corey. He was walking, he was talking, he was okay. He had the strength to open the door. Had the strength to walk in, because remember, it was said that he complained of his legs hurting and all of that. So really, I guess what the prosecutors are getting at, he was walking, talking, and acting perfectly fine, had the strength to open the door and to maneuver himself into the home of his father's, where then all of a sudden he was very tired. His legs hurt and he was throwing up. He was sick and not feeling well and defecating in his undergarments. He wasn't doing this when he was with his mother just hours prior. So I guess what they're trying to say is whatever happened between those closed doors and due to prior ABUSE and punishments with the treadmill and him falling off the treadmill.
were you and the defendant arguing?
Yes.
I have permission to approach S11.
Still pay attention to the dad's looks and anger he shows towards the witness. Very sus. I do agree.
Right, I'm now showing you what's been marked S11 for identification purposes. And again, those text messages that were contained in your phone. And you're familiar with those messages?
I am.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to publish and into evidence of S11.
No objection. S11 evidence.
So, Brianna, starting with the top message, can you please tell the jury about your conversation with the defendant?
Yes, at 9:48 a.m., I said, "Stop being so cocky. If I were you, I definitely wouldn't be."
And then what did the defendant respond?
He said, "Yes, I am. A ludicrous charge by you that when you went to court yesterday was completely thrown out and disregarded."
And can you continue with his next message?
He said, "Shows how much evidence there is, doesn't it? You're going to be in for a rude awakening today."
So he's threatening her now. You're going to be in for a rude awakening today.
So,
this is the morning she brings little Corey home.
Brianna, what is the next time that you heard from the defendant on April 2nd of 2021?
Around 3:30.
And did you speak to the defendant on the telephone?
Yes.
And at 3:30 on April 2nd, what did the defendant tell you about Corey?
He said he was lethargic. His legs were hurting. He was sleeping all day. And
So his legs are hurting. It almost makes you wonder. Maybe it just wasn't caught on the camera. Maybe he took the little boy back down to the complex's little gym that morning after he arrived home as a form of punishment.
He was throwing up and just didn't feel good. And then he told me to send Corey's insurance card to him.
And did you send
All right, we do need to hit the pause button right now to bring you this update in the Doomsday Prophet murder.
Very next, back to the treadmill abuse murder trial up next, where the mother
In the trial of
of course, eating, no, chronic
abuse. If you have that and you can point to him, that's not physical abuse. So it's going to be or the father. And I don't know if a jury is going to be able to get beyond a reasonable doubt if you can't point to specific evidence prior of physical abuse.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see. And I think that evidence of him and how he's treating his kid on the treadmill is so important for the state's case, because that kind of paints him as an abuser. You see it and you get angry. You don't like the guy. You hear some of his texts and things he's saying. You don't like the guy. But at the end of the day, Dante, she was at the hospital. This was 12 days after the treadmill incident, and she saw abuse.
But it doesn't matter because it shows prior happenings of abuse happening.
And a pediatric abuse expert. She saw a doctor, went to another hospital. No one raised red flags as to the abuse. And I think that's going to be problematic for the state.
Absolutely. That's a phenomenal. Anything to suggest that. So how can you say that now? I'm going to be screaming that if I'm the defense attorney, that we actually, not often do you have evaluations and medical examinations right before death where you could say there was no sign of that chronic abuse that they're talking about. So it's about controlling the narrative. And that's one way that they can try and turn the narrative of all of these allegations into some kind of proof that, in fact, he was not chronically abusing him.
Yeah, and to your point, Judge, that's why it's going to be so important what the doctors say about this chronic abuse.
Yes.
If they can really convince this jury chronic abuse was going on, they can believe that that might have compromised the boy and led him to the situation that he was in. That's the only way.
And how specific of time frames can they say the abuse happened? Therefore, it had to have been by the father. The child was in his care at that time. We have to wait and see.
There you go. A lot of questions for this one. All right, Dante, stand by. I want to take folks back into court now where Breonna Mitchell is still testifying about the last time that she saw.
But that still leaves you to question if he wasn't responsible for the happenings of his child's passing away, why did he up and run from the officials, from the police? Why did he up and run from the state where he resides in and has resided in to Texas? I believe that's where they said, Texas or Tennessee, one of the two. So tell me why, if you have nothing to hide, but right after the death, you up and leave, and they have to locate you in another state. That's a little sus, if you ask me, but it is. We don't know yet. Let's continue.
Saw her son alive, and when she found out, he died.
Guilty feeling. Could be.
And did the defendant say anything about taking Corey to the hospital?
Yes.
Asking some questions.
And did the defendant tell you what
Brain
hospital
story.
he was taking Corey to?
No.
Was that the last time that you had spoken to the defendant on that day?
Yes.
And did you learn what hospital Corey was taken to?
Yes.
After the phone conversation, did you know at that time what hospital Corey was taken to?
No.
And at that time, what did you do?
I started calling the hospitals to see if Corey was there. I also called my local police department to report Corey as like I don't know where he is, and he's not feeling good. He's sick.
And about 6 o'clock that day on the 2nd, did the police come to your home?
Yes,
And did you learn at that time that Corey had passed?
I did.
Now, on that same day that Corey passed away, did you go to the police station and provide a statement?
I did.
And whom did you speak to?
Detective Dennis Mitchell.
And what did you give to Detective Mitchell at the police station?
My cell phone.
And did you voluntarily provide that to the detective?
Yes.
And did you also allow officers to
To me,
photograph
that
the home
doesn't
and
sound
image
like
now?
a parent
Yes.
trying to hide somebody. Something that they may have done. I keep asking about you. And if you were coming in.
You're on our permission to
Please.
approach.
Now, Anarchy, would you like your wrench back? I just wanted to ask you. If you prefer not right now, that's fine. You can let me know if we ever need you. I can do it then. It's all up to you. I don't want to pressure you into anything, but I know you had one before, and I mean, I only took it because you wasn't coming around no more, and I wasn't sure exactly what happened. I don't even think I took it. I think you two might have pulled it. It's up to you. I don't want to make you feel pressured, but I just want to let you know that it's back up for. I mean, it's always been up for grabs for you. You've always been a longstanding mod here from the beginning of my channel.
Now, I'm now showing you what's been marked S21, S20,
I don't want you to feel pressured,
S23,
so just let me know.
S19, S35, S32, S33, and S24, and S34, and also S24.
Yes, she has always been a mod here.
Now calling your attention
Always.
to S22, are you familiar with the area
Yes.
depicted there? And can you
It's one
tell
of
us
my
the
first subs.
jurors what that is?
It's a TV stand in my bedroom.
And in your hand, you're holding a what?
Photograph.
I think she
And
came
you're
over
familiar
from
with that?
Mandy
It's in your
Keys,
bedroom?
actually.
Correct.
I'm now showing you what's been marked S23 for identification purposes. And can you tell the jurors what that is?
This is my bedroom.
And what you're holding is what, a photograph?
All right, we do need to squeeze in a break right now. We'll get you back to Brianna Mitchello's testimony about the investigation that ensued after the death of her son when we come back. Keep it here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcox.
And I'm Michael Ayala. We are continuing our coverage of the treadmill abuse murder trial going on in New Jersey. The mother of 6-year-old Corey has been on the stand for several hours.
She's testified about the bruises she saw on her son and about the last time that she saw him alive. Brianna.
Girl, listen, I do not blame you one bit for not wanting to be interested in the mess happening. That's kind of why I'm going the way that I'm going with things. I'm over the rinse, wash, repeat, and bicker with somebody new tomorrow kind of days. Prefer to do something like this, you know. And like I was talking to Dave, not many active cases taking place here in the States at night. And so, you know, not many can listen to the ongoing cases during the day. They have to catch up at night. So I'm thinking maybe it will take off, you know, just so that way people can have a place to listen to current cases, happenings, and be able to talk and, you know, join in a conversation like you would during a case during the daytime. You know what I mean? Just to have that group of people that you can speak with things about and put out your opinions and thoughts on things. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good move. Hopefully, we'll see. Can only try it. We only can make a step, you know. Got to try it out, dip your toes in order to see if it's going to work or not, you know. Made peace with a lot of people, have no interest in fighting with others. I agree with you. It's just enough is enough. I mean, even if there was no peace made in certain places, you know, it's just whatever. I mean, if I have something to say wherever I say it, that's what's going to be. I'll say what I have to say and move on, you know, wherever I have to say it. So hardly ever do I even really listen to many streams. So if I do happen to hear a stream taking place with in all that drama and stuff, it's going to be a miracle, you know, that I just there was really nothing else I was doing at the time. I'm saying there was really nothing else I was doing at the time. I just popped in there and had to make my presence known or something I had to say. I couldn't hold my tongue on something, you know? So yeah, it's very rarely that I watch them anymore. So
Mitchello is still on the stand on direct, testifying about the investigation into Corey's death. Let's get you back into court.
Photograph. Okay, I'm now showing you what's been marked S20. Is this another photograph?
Yes.
Okay, and are you familiar with the area depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
And what is that?
It's the entrance to my house.
Okay, I'm now showing you what's been marked S21. Are you familiar with that photograph?
Yes.
And what is that a picture of?
It's a hallway to my bedroom.
Okay, so you're familiar with what's depicted in that photograph. I'm now going to show you what has been marked S19. Are you familiar with the area depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors what that is a photograph of?
It's a
You didn't
photo of
really-
the defendant's home.
And you've been to that location before?
Yes.
I'm now showing you
You were there
what has
once.
been marked S24. And are you familiar as to what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
And what's depicted in that photograph?
It's the paper I gave Corey to go inside with.
Okay, so you're familiar with that paper because it was under your control and then you gave it to Corey.
Yes.
I'm now showing you what's been marked S34 for identification purposes. And do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what is that a photograph of?
Corey's underwear.
And is that the underwear that you put on Corey when you drove him to the defendant's house on April 2nd of 2021?
Yes.
And in regard to that photograph, is what's depicted in that photo the condition of the underwear that you sent Corey with that day and going to the home?
No.
And I'm now showing you what's been marked S33. And are you familiar with that?
Yes.
And what is that a photograph of?
Corey's underwear.
And again, is the underwear in the same condition as to when you sent Corey in that underwear to the defendant's home?
No.
I'm now showing you what's been marked S.
So this obviously makes her pretty upset. Like, even so clearly he had texted her and told, knew he was having problems with his bowels and stuff. At this point in time, he was lethargic. He's complaining that his legs hurt and all these other complaints that he's having. Knows that he's probably has dirty underwear, but he brings him into the hospital in those same undergarments. How absolutely, I don't even have words. Like, I can't even think of it. I mean, you know that your child's having problems. Why wouldn't you bring extra pairs with you or change them even before you left the home? Instead, you bring them in these same clothes. Sad. I feel so horrible for this mom to have to see.
32 for identification purposes. And again, is that the underwear that you sent Corey in, a photo of that on April 2nd of 2021?
No.
That's not the underwear?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Okay. And is the condition the same?
No.
Okay. And I'm now showing you what's marked S35 for identification purposes. And can you tell the jurors what that is?
That's Corey's underwear.
And again, you're familiar with that? And that's the underwear that you sent him in?
Yes.
And was that the condition it was when you sent him in that
No.
underwear? Your Honor, the state would ask for permission to publish and move into evidence the photos.
Veronica, I just see S22 and 23. Well,
Sure. Ms. Leto, I'd like you to put them in order so we can go through them in numerical order and enter into evidence. And you can show 22 and 23, Mr. Bridges.
I'm giving it to you. She's gonna give it to you. 22? 23? Yes, 22.
I'm fine.
No objection?
Okay.
All right, so if I get those numbers correct, it would be, let me know if I'm right, Ms. Lento, S19 through S24 and S32 through S35, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so S19 through and including S24 in evidence, S32 through and including S35 in evidence.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at this point, we would ask for permission to publish the photos to the jury.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, Brianna, so you're familiar with that location.
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors what that location is?
That's the defendant's home.
And the day that you dropped Corey off back to his father on April 2nd, can you show the jurors
no,
where
but
you
look.
parked that day using the photograph of S19, which is now before the jury?
Yeah. It was all the way to the right, the second spot to the left.
We could go to the next picture. Okay, I'm now showing you S20, which has been published to the jury. And can you tell the jurors what that is a picture of?
That's the entrance of my home.
So when you came home with Corey around 1 something on April 2nd, Is that where you and Corey entered the home?
Yes.
And what area in your home does that depict?
The entrance and the living rooms to the left and my bedroom doors to the right after the hallway.
We can move to S21, please. Okay, now you can see S21, which has been published to the jury. And can you tell the jurors what is depicted in that photograph?
That's the stairs and the hallway to my bedroom.
S22, please. And can you tell the jurors what that is?
That's
So do pay attention though when they're showing these pictures of the downstairs of her parents' basement where she is residing at this time. When this is taking place, pay attention because it's not like he went to bed with his mom in this small enclosed in like room, you know, like your typical small bedroom. It's not like that by any means. And clearly, even if she didn't bring him, you'll notice that there is a second bed in the same area because it is a big area down there. And it looks like it's well kept and well, maintained. There's also another bed. So it's not like he would have been even far from her or, whatever that may be. He was, just not feeling 100% part. And she was probably still really worried about her son after having these bruises on him. And, just being a mom, why don't we just lay down here, just because what if he didn't want to be tucked into his own bed at that time, You always feel safe for most people. When they have that mother-child bond, you feel safest with your mom. I still have an 18-year-old that will call me half the time, all upset, maybe sometimes crying. I just want my mom. Well, what's wrong? I don't know. I just want my mom, you still don't know why, but you still want your mom. I just feel like I want my mom right now. Okay. I still get these calls. So it doesn't matter how big they get. They're always your baby. And you're always, well, if you don't tell me what's wrong, then okay, fine, I'll be on my way. I'm on my way, whatever you got to do to make them feel better. You do it. Yes. Anarchy knows. You don't care.
Okay, and why is that TV stand there in your bedroom?
Slumber party.
To hold the TV.
Exactly. Kids
And is that where you would generally sleep downstairs?
Yes.
Okay. So we could then go to S23. And can you tell the jurors what that is a picture of?
My bedroom.
Okay. Now, the night that you brought
Here, listen, I am 30. Well, let me dox the hell out of myself. I think 30. I'm going to say 36, going on 37 this year. And there's still days where I'm like, even though I know my mom has passed on or whatever, I would do anything to see her name pop up on my caller ID or to go her door and just be like, hey, what are you doing? I don't know why I'm here. I'm just here. I just wanted to see you, hear your voice, whatever it may be. You always want your mom. It doesn't matter when you have that connection with your parents. And it sounds like Corey had that.
Corey, that's your home in Englishtown on April 2nd at 1-something in the morning. Can you show the jury where you and Corey slept?
Yes, it was the bed on the left.
So it's
Next
a pretty
picture,
big
please.
bedroom. I don't know if you guys were able to see that. It's not like it's a small one. And she's saying they slept on the bed on the left. So I'm thinking that would be this bed right here. Let me see if I can get it to pull up closer. What the hell is going on outside my window? Wow. Lightning. But it sounds like it's when it thunders that it's almost like happening right outside my window. That's weird. I'm not seeing much of anything on my cameras. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Shiny things. Shiny things. Don't judge me. Just shiny
In the
things.
morning, can you show the jury where you and Corey slept?
Yes, it
I
was
don't
the
know if
bed on
that
the left.
helped any. Right
Next
here.
picture, please. I'm now showing you what's
Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like almost like fireworks popping off. But there's no fireworks obviously happening when it's raining out there, if you know what I mean. It's crazy. But yeah, let me bring down the zoom on this one. I got it all the way up to 500 now. So whoa, I heard that one. That did sound like thunder. But the other ones were like pops, like loud just pops, like fireworks. Pop, pop, pop. I'm wondering if we're running on my backup generator now. I don't know. Who knows? Let's not worry about that. Squirrel, don't mind us. Yes. Shiny things. Oh, something shiny, something pink, something green. Whatever it may be. Don't mind us. We'll get there someday. We'll get there. Don't worry. Sidebar.
It's been marked
As
S24,
would
which has
say.
been published to the
Sidebar.
jury. And can you tell the jurors what that is a photograph of?
That's the paper the hospital gave me that I gave Corey to give to the defendant.
And I'm now showing you, if we could move to the next photo, S32. And can you tell the jurors what S32, the photograph, shows?
They're Corey's underwear.
Now, is that the underwear that you sent Corey in to his defendant's home on April 2nd of 2021?
Yes.
And if we can move to the next picture, please. I'm now showing you what's been marked S33. Is that the underwear that you sent Corey in to the defendant's home on April 2nd?
Yes.
Now, when you sent Corey in this underwear, was that the condition of the underwear?
No.
And what was the condition of the underwear when you sent Corey to the home?
They were clean.
And can we now go to S34? And again, is this a photo of the underwear that you dressed Corey in when you brought him to the defendant's home on April 2nd?
Yes.
And is that the condition of the underwear?
No.
S35. And
Oh,
again,
look at him sit there. He's like unfazed.
the underwear on S35
Unfazed by
as
any
the
of
photograph, was that the condition of the underwear that you sent Corey in when you brought him to the defendant's home?
No.
And what was the condition of the underwear that you sent?
They were clean.
S36? Oh, no S36, Judge.
All right, we didn't get that yet.
Yep. You wanna do the last shot?
It's so crazy. Like none of this is a
When we come back, we'll hear the last conversation between Brianna and her son, Corey. That's coming up right on the other side of this break.
Everyday people.
There's also another case that's taking place right now that I noticed the defendant barely shows any sign of hurt, even if for the fact that they lost somebody that they let's say claim to love in. Wasn't she a fiance at the time? I'm talking about the Karen Reed trial here. If you're picking on, she doesn't show very much remorse or any kind of emotions towards anything. Very cold and like very stone-faced, very stone cold, and I don't understand the level of zero empathy. Yeah, me neither.
Just like you, accused of the unthinkable.
He needed to eliminate
Part of the case.
They were in this.
Those moments lead.
Okay, we're gonna get back to the
my business
case.
partner, Lennon, I'll say, listen, on that.
All right, but we need to get back to court. The jury will be hearing the last recorded conversation between the mother, Brianna, and her 6-year-old son, Corey.
Well, he's your other parent, so it's his right. He needs to see it because you went to the doctor, and I just want to make sure he sees that. Okay. I'm not sure where he is. Yeah, he's inside. I don't know why the car's not here. That's strange.
Okay, Brianna, so in regard to the video
drop the link
recording
to panel if
that
anybody wants to come up
you
and
saw and
talk
listened
about
to,
things here and
is
there
that
with
your
me.
voice depicted on the recording?
Yes.
And who is the other voice depicted on the recording?
My son Corey.
And obviously you're familiar with Corey's voice.
Yes.
And the conversation that you had with Corey on April 2nd of 2021, a little past 9 a.m. that morning, does that accurately depict the conversation that you had with him, what was shown in this video?
Yes.
Now, did you know that you were recording this conversation at the time?
No.
And how did it come to be that this conversation that you had with Corey was recorded?
Detective Dennis Mitchell from the prosecutor's office called me and asked me about it.
Okay. And Detective Mitchell had your cellular phone?
Yes.
Okay. And was this video recorded on your cellular phone?
Yes.
And did you purposely record this on your cellular phone?
No.
And how did it come to be that the recording existed from your cellular phone?
I must have accidentally took the video.
What if I had my laptop?
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
I don't know how to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Let me pause it. Okay, so you would do it almost like you would do it on your computer. You just click the link, and then it will take you to where you are in the let's say login stages of StreamYard. You just say that you want to log in under using your YouTube account, almost like you would if you were on your computer. The only thing that's different is when you get backstage, in order to let's say toggle between the screens of chat and being able to see the panel, you have to be very careful with that, as you're probably going to push the X to exit out of chat. When you go to, you'll exit StreamYard instead of chat mode on your phone. So you just got to be careful with that. Besides that, everything's pretty much the same. Everything's pretty much just the same. It's very easy to walk through it. It's all up to you, though. No pressure.
Video.
Okay, I'm now showing you what has been marked
Read it now, though.
S18 for identification purposes. And can you tell the jurors what S18 is?
It's a flash drive.
And are you familiar as to the contents which are contained on this flash drive?
Yes.
And did you review the contents of this flash drive before you came to court today?
Hey,
Yes.
never a better
Now,
time to
contained
try.
within this flash drive is
You won't learn unless you
SA.
try.
and is SA a surveillance video from the Atlantic Heights apartment complex in Barnegat from March 20th of 2021?
Yes.
And you are familiar with that location as to what is contained on S18A.
Yes.
And you've been to that location before.
Yes.
And you're also familiar with who is depicted on that video, correct?
Yes.
And in regard to the A video, you are actually present on the video, correct?
Yes.
And you are familiar with the other parties as well.
Yes.
I'm now going to draw your attention to S18, what would be B, C, and D. And those are also surveillance videos from the Atlantic Heights apartment complex gym, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have reviewed those videos before you came to court today, correct?
Yes.
One
And you are familiar with the
Hold on.
location, which is depicted on C.
One of the things you need to know, though, is when clicking a link to a StreamYard, you always want, before you leave YouTube fully, you want to toggle back through or use your recent tabs on your phone to go to recent tabs. Pull back up your YouTube before entering the studio. Pull back up your YouTube and either A, pause it, or B, completely exit out of that tab, and then go back to the Google tab that's bringing you on panel, or else when you are added to the panel, you'll have a echo in your background. So always remember to either pause your tab with your YouTube or exit out of that tab.
I'm sorry, B,
It's
C,
always
and
a
D.
helpful-
Yes.
And you're also familiar with the parties who are located on those surveillance videos.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence, S18, A, B, C, and D of S18.
No objection.
It's 18, A, B, C, and D.
I myself, before hitting a StreamYard link on my phone, I will pause my YouTube that I'm listening to, then hit the StreamYard link, because then it will direct me directly to the StreamYard, and I won't have to worry about that echo again.
Thank you. And permission to publish, Your
problem.
Honor, starting with A.
Well,
Yes.
can yep, always pause or exit. Yep. Sometimes I do that before I even leave. Helpful.
Just tell me what I can let me.
Oh, court is on mute because they all meet up. Watch this video.
All right, we have to hit the pause button. Thank you, of course, to Dante Mills for joining us today.
Yeah, building.
Okay, so that was the end of that one. Actually, I want to rewatch that video one more
Is
time.
depicted on B, C, and D.
Yes,
And you're also familiar with the parties who are located on those surveillance videos.
yes,
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence, S18, A, B, C.
Did you just notice the sigh in the look? The mother was like, oh, I don't even want to watch this. I don't want to go back to this day. I just don't.
and D of S18.
No objection.
It's 18, A, B, C, and D.
Thank you. And permission to publish, Your Honor, starting with A.
Yes.
Oh, I watched a little bit of the hearing today. I ended up falling asleep while listening, so I didn't get to hear it all, but I'll tell you what, it's going to make you guys all mad. It's going to make you mad, the things that I heard. In the way that he was behaving and acting towards Corey's mom today in court.
Just tell me what I can let me. All right, we have to hit the pause button. Thank you, of course, to Dante Mills for joining us today.
Yeah, building.
So that was that for that one.
Here's a
We're
pop-
gonna go back to Court TV and we're gonna pick up where we left off. Okay, let's see. Videos. Okay, we were here and we're gonna jump to John O'Keefe, cover up treadmill right here. So we're here.
The treadmill abuse murder trial in New Jersey. Greger is charged with first-degree murder in the death of his 6-year-old son, Corey Michelow. The prosecution has said that the treadmill didn't cause Corey's death, but instead chronic abuse was the cause. Now, Corey's mom took the stand today. She testified about the last time she saw her son alive.
And about what time did you get to the apartment complex to drop off Corey that morning?
around 9 a.m.
And was that the last time that you spoke to Corey?
Was.
Did Corey exit your car?
He did.
And can you tell the jurors where Corey walked?
He walked inside defendant's home.
And how was Corey walking when he went to the defendant's apartment?
Fine.
Brianna, what is the next time that you heard from the defendant, April 2nd of 2021?
Around 3:30.
And did you speak to the defendant on the telephone?
Yes.
And at 3:30 on April 2nd, what did the defendant tell you about Corey?
He said he was lethargic. His legs were hurting. He was sleeping all day, and he was throwing up and just didn't feel good. And then he told me to send Corey's insurance card to him. I started calling the hospitals to see if Corey was there. I also called my local police department.
About 6 o'clock that day on the 2nd, did the police come to your home?
Yes,
And did you learn at that time that Corey had passed?
I did.
All right, well, testimony is still continuing in the trial. The state is playing video of Brianna and Corey arriving at the defendant's apartment
Crazy.
complex, and the jury is going to see that video of Corey on the treadmill, the one we've heard so much about. Let's head back into court.
He looks like a hard ass in that. Like he's trying, like he's not even trying. He's angry, you know? You could tell by his walk and his stance, the way he was behaving. Looked like he might have even had his fist balled up. Let's see. Look at him. Weird. Well, I wouldn't say weird, but definitely is angry about the situation. And look at him just hardcore stare at that. No feelings.
Okay, Brianna, in regard to video A, there's a car located on that surveillance video.
Yes,
And whose car was that?
that's my car.
And there was also an adult male located on the surveillance video. And can you tell the jury who that was?
The defendant,
And there's also a child located on the surveillance video. Can you tell the jury who that is?
my son Corey.
Does that video accurately depict when you dropped Corey off to his father's apartment complex gym on March 20th, 2021 at approximately 4:15 p.m.?
Yes,
Now, there was a timestamp located on the video, correct?
correct.
And is that accurate within an approximate reasonable time?
Yes,
Permission to publish videos B, C, and D, Your Honor. Thank you.
sorry. I'll start at the beginning.
Sheet would give me a hard time right now. Right? Oh, come on. I need a bit up. I read up a bit on this case. The Gregors to Mr. Wait, to Mr. Gregors for what he did. Yeah, I get it, mystery. It's angering, isn't it? I think men who anyone have anyone. I'm confused on your comment there, Wyoming. I don't know if I'm reading it wrong, but there's also a heart in my way of the wordings. That heart emoji. Rotate me. Okay. Well, I guess I just dropped that, didn't I? Oh, thank God it wasn't what I thought it was. Oh, I thought I dropped my monster can, y'all. We almost had a fit. Because it would fell on all the electronic behind the other electrical cord. Whew. No, you're good, Wyoming. You're good. So this is the infamous video. Now, this video, if we want to play it again or any other time, if anybody wants to see it again or whatever it may be, there is also another link that I can play that is just full screen the video. If anybody would rather see that instead of this smaller screen, we can flip over to that and then kind of just skip over the playing of this one in the court. It's up to you, whatever you guys want to do. Just let me know if you can't really see what is going on, then we can go ahead and play the video in its entirety big. I think I understand. This is definitely has this Dude definitely has big problems. Yeah, he does. He definitely does. I think someone who hurts a child has big issues. I agree. I do agree. Why don't we just jump over to the actual video in itself, so that way everybody can have a chance to see the whole thing, you know, instead of the whole split screen thing of this. So we have that. You can go here real quick and go here real quick. And that is right here. Now, I'm going to slow this down so it's not looking like he's got him, you know, fully full running, because we are in 1.5 speed. Let's go to normal speed. Pull this up. Oh, did I just go back to the same thing? No, I don't think so. No, it blows up, I believe. That I blew it up on my phone. Don't quote me. Who knows? It's probably me. Let's see what I can do. Did that blow it up any bigger for you guys? So we have Mr. Hardass, that's what I'm going to call him right now. He's back here walking around, messing with the machines back here right now. As far as zoom as I can get. Probably only yeah, I have it. I seen it somewhere. This is just on this treadmill. Here we go. Let me drop this one. Hold on. Stop screen. Present screen. Share screen. We'll go. This is the actual treadmill video. Treadmill. Let me see. Maybe it's the same thing, I guess. I could have swore it blew up bigger on my screen. But, okay. We're just going to go ahead and go back up to where we were. And I'll share this. We should have just stayed on the trial, probably. Well, we're going to go back to the trial. Here we go. We're going to exit the stage. He is already a little kid as it is. Then this works. Well, do remember that he told Corey he was getting fat, and that is why he had to get on the treadmill. Do remember that, okay? Keep that in mind. He told Corey he was getting fat, that he needed to run. And by the pacing of him and his actions, you can tell he's pissed and he's taking it. Watch him as he turns this up. There he goes, turning it up. Notice how you see Corey getting further and further away from the front of the treadmill, from the functioning buttons. You can tell he's falling further behind as his father turns up the treadmill. And up again. He's continuing to go up. Oh, might as well crank it all the way. Look at little old Corey's feet down there. Just a going. I gotta give it to him. He helped his own for being such a little. I'll tell you, watching this, you can see this isn't this kid's first time being punished like this. He's not training for a damn race. Exactly. And you can tell he's been through having to deal with this. By the way he's just reacting, and he's trying his damnedest to stay on that treadmill, as he knows what's going to happen when he comes off of it. But look at the father. He knows he's going to come off of there. He's even standing back there to catch him. Waiting. Look at him. Lets him fall. Doesn't try to catch him. Picks him up and puts him back on there. You can hear the mother crying, of course. This is sad. This is sad. To watch your 6-year-old be Let's turn it up some more. Oh, there he goes. Oh my God. This is just torture. Look at the way his head is. I agree. This is horrible. How sad. Oh my God. I would not be able to contain myself. Yeah, me neither. I would want to come over that jury box or, audience box area after that guy, that's for sure. Is this at a regular gym or clubhouse where it's at the clubhouse where Gregor lives, where Christopher lives, and where Corey resided at the time with his dad. So, okay, let's go back to Court TV. We're gonna go back to the courts. I thought we were on the court video, but maybe we weren't. We were, watch that one. We went back that way. We're here. Yeah. We're going to skip over the video, stuff all over again. We just watched it on another larger screen.
12 days before April 1st.
Okay. We're going to skip over this. This is still just a video showing. This was a 6-minute long video. And he doesn't show any sign of remorse or any sign of, regret or any of this. Oh, yeah, repulsive. Couldn't be stopped. Yeah, exactly. I need to sit on
Your Honor, permission to publish video D, please.
No, you're okay, girl. Ask as many questions as you need. Stay caught up. There's lots of cases happening. Can't keep them all straight, right?
Now, Brianna, who is the child located in that video?
That's Corey.
And how old was Corey in that video?
He was 6.
And who was the adult male located in that video?
The defendant.
And again, you're familiar with that area.
Yes.
Now, when was the first time that you ever saw that video?
A few weeks ago.
And have you ever had
No, this
possession of that video?
No.
So remember, when mom was taking the Corey to the doctors to be seen about these bruises and as to what could have caused these bruises on him, she had no idea that this had taken place and that it was filmed. So she couldn't give the doctors any, maybe thoughts as to what could have caused these. So of course the doctors are going to rule it as just a boy being a boy and getting the bruises somehow while out roughhousing and playing around, like what they say a typical boy may do, She'd had no idea about this video even existing to even inform the doctors what could have been that.
Joining us to discuss this hour, trial attorney and law
I'm on
enforcement
another
analyst Andrea Lewis and
rabbit hole.
state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Ehrenberg. Thank you both for joining me today.
Christopher
This-
rabbit holes are not always
is-
good, right?
because of anything.
Jurors trust their own eyes.
Nation, let's see how she holds up. Dr. Court TV, Treadchelo is on cross-examination.
Okay.
Yes.
So there comes a point in March, I guess, of 220 or January of 220,
Bruises
we were having
reported
an
it,
issue
but
with
they weren't.
drugs.
Yes,
You testified
but
to that.
and she didn't know that this particular incident happened that could have been the cause of these bruises, for them to further look into lacerations that may have happened inside because of these falls that could have caused these bruises. If you're following what I'm saying, you understand what I'm following me, guys. So she had no idea to give doctors any kind of input as to what they should be concerned of, because normally when you go in, you say, hey, I fell, this took place, then they know, okay, it could be a broken bone, let's take an x-ray, let's look at this, let's look at that, or it could be a torn ligament, let's get these tests run, things that will help them following what could have happened. So she couldn't give that information because she had no idea that this could have been the cause. And she's learning just a couple weeks before the other night that this has been found for evidence.
Yes.
And at that point, you lose custody of Corey.
Yes.
All right?
Mhm.
And what was the drug you used?
Methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine?
Yes.
And what is a methamphetamine? I don't know.
It's a methamphetamine. I don't know how to. It's a drug.
Okay. And you lost custody of Corey in, I guess it was January of 2020 as a result of that addiction?
It's around there.
And did you go to rehab at that point?
I went to a drug program. Yes.
Okay. And where was the drug program?
Stress care, Madawan.
And how long was that program?
About 8 weeks.
We're in a custody battle.
And
Exactly.
then
You're right. You're
in
right.
March-
You're very right.
I believe it's your mother makes an application to start to get visitation of court, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't recall.
But you still don't have custody or visitation rights at that point, am I right?
Correct.
And why was that?
Because of the drug test.
So did you fail the drug test after the rehab stint?
No.
So what was about the drug test that made you not able to take care of your child?
I just didn't apply for it yet, and to get custody back yet. I was still working on myself.
You were working on your sobriety?
Yes.
So from the outside looking in, she was doing a more responsible thing. She wasn't trying to right out the gate, get custody back of him, as he was already, he was residing with his father, whom she probably trusted to, you know, to take care of him and protect him and not do the things that he's now found doing on video surveillance, you know? So she was doing the right thing. She wanted to make sure she was on a good path, you know, to where if she fought for him, the chances of him getting him or her getting him back would have been greater.
And when did you become so?
Around the summer of that year.
The summer of 2020?
Like back together.
Yes.
So in the summer of
Grandma
2020,
fought for
you
her
become sober,
grandparents.
and up until the moment you're sitting here,
So that way, you
you've
know,
been sober.
No, I have relapsed.
Okay. And when did you relapse?
Probably around December 2020.
December of what year?
2020.
I can't hear.
2020.
2020.
Yes,
So in December of 2020, you relapsed again. Was it
Yes.
the same drug, the methamphetamine?
it was.
And how do you take that? Is that like something called a bump? I've heard that term.
Yeah, you snort it.
Okay,
yeah.
you snort.
Mm.
So when you say the word bump, that means you're snorting a methamphetamine.
I guess.
I don't know.
That's, yeah,
Is that how you ingest it?
yes,
So in January of 2020, you have a drug issue, you lose custody of Corey. In March of 2020, you still don't have custody of Corey. I believe it's in October, though, of 2020 that you're now allowed visitation.
I am, yes.
Okay. And in October of 2020, you then relapse in December of 2020.
Yes.
Does Christopher know that you relapsed in December of 2020? Did you tell him?
I don't believe I did.
And did you go back to rehab?
I did not.
Were you able to get over the addiction at that point?
No,
So you relapsed again?
yes.
He
When did you
definitely
relapse
doesn't
again?
seem to hide it.
I don't know. I have to think. Maybe February. I can't
February of-
recall. It was on and off,
He is
like
being
once or
very
twice throughout.
February of 2021?
Yes.
All right, this is a very important cross for the defense. In their
Well,
opening
yeah,
statement, they
let me see.
basically blame the mom for any
Okay, let me see. What were you saying? Mystery. I've been trying to find the actual affidavit for his arrest, but no luck. Not just a presser. Yeah. Well, I don't know how to go about looking for all that stuff yet. You know, I haven't really been doing this long enough to go about knowing how to do all that. Otherwise, if I could have pulled that up if you guys were interested in it. But again, I got lots to learn while doing these type of streams still. I'm new at this still, guys. New at this. But we'll get there. We will get there. I promise. Maybe, hopefully, someday, if we continue, which I'm hoping to be able to continue doing these. Don't blame her. This is her lawyer. Is it her lawyer or defense? I do believe it was the, let me see.
What?
Yes. Maybe February.
This is the
February.
I
defense.
can't recall. It was
This
on and
is
off,
defense,
like once or twice
questioning.
throughout.
February of 2021?
Yes.
But I'm not buying what they're selling.
All right, this is a
need-
very important
look at it.
cross for the
I agree.
defense. In their opening statement,
do
they
agree.
basically blame the mom for any injuries that may have appeared on this child. So they have
I
to be
don't
careful.
think
Can't go
that
too
it's
hard,
mother.
but also can't go too soft. All right, we do need to take a break.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. If these injuries were caused by her, you know, for instance, the father, I don't care to go with you to these appointments. Why don't you take him? But I'm going to get mad at you when you don't have him back at a certain time to me because you're now overdoing your visitations with him, even though you're following court orders, kind of thing. You know what I mean? She's the one that's like, no, I want to get to the bottom of why these bruises could have been present on my child and what is going on. And she's reached out to the Department of Child Protective Services before in the past, she's saying, but each time her requests for investigation were denied. In her custody, when she did request it, was denied the day before his passings. However, normally when requesting, when the parent that is pursuing these actions, normally they would get a heads up before the person in the case with them, you know, the other parent. So she would have been notified before he could have been notified. He would have been notified. So her lawyer would have probably notified her the day of the decision, and his would have notified him the following day, kind of thing. At least that's how it's always worked in my cases, or in any cases that I know of from where I'm from. That is kind of how it works. CPS, in my opinion, failed her and Corey. I do agree with that. I have the press release, but as the gavel drops, Discord usual has all of this, since they do have the case listed, but none. That's weird. That is odd. That's odd. Very odd. Let me see. Sorry guys, I'm gonna plug in my phone. We're gonna start this back up here though. Get back to the case.
One of the most successful
hit about 100 times. See her, she does drug.
We skip over these right
Then it
now,
was
so
something
that way
else.
we can
Out of the
get to the case.
February
Here we are.
2020. February.
She's being asked about her drug use and relapses throughout the years.
Yes, yes.
So from February of 2021 until you sit here today, you've been sober.
Addict to relapse
No.
more than once still doesn't make her a
Relapse.
bad mother.
Okay,
Exactly.
yes, I did one time, yes.
Okay.
No,
What
you're
was
good,
that?
Anna. No worries.
Probably around the same time.
February of 2021.
Mhm.
So sometime between February 2021 and as you sit here today, you're sober.
Yes.
So, do you know a person named Dustin Wondren?
I do.
Okay, and can you tell me who Dustin Wondren is?
He is my ex-boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend. And were you dating Dustin Wondren in April 2021?
Yes.
And by the way, do you have something
This is
called
still
Facebook?
defense questioning.
Yes.
And on Facebook, I believe there's something called Messenger. Am I right?
Okay, yes.
And did you and Justin Wondren ever use Facebook Messenger to communicate with each other?
Yes.
And the day Corey died was what?
April 2nd.
Do you remember having a conversation with Justin Wondren on April 2nd?
Objection, Judge, it's hearsay.
Well, her statements would not be hearsay. So the existence of a
Right.
conversation doesn't convey any content yet, so that objection's over.
Mystery, maybe
Do you
you'll have
remember
to
having
send
a
me the link
conversation
of that Discord.
Justin Wondren on
Okay,
April
so
2nd
allow
in
me-
2021, beginning at 2:54 PM.
I don't remember it, but
Okay,
Please.
You don't do much
Identify the exhibit.
recording, though. That's way too much.
It's a
Discord.
Facebook,
No, just by number.
D4.
Thank you.
No suspects in no way.
do you want me to read it?
Hey, Mystery, while you're in here, have you heard anything from QB? I hope everything's okay. I haven't seen her the last couple of days. I hope everything's all right. I didn't know if maybe you heard anything.
It's a Facebook,
No, just by number.
D4.
Everything's all right.
Thank you.
May show video alert.
Do you want me to read it?
Well, why don't you tell me if you recognize the conversation between is that you and Dustin?
Longer and for the law. Video alert. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you recognize that conversation?
yes.
Back for a second.
I'm just to pull this card again.
Now, on 4/2/21, what time had you dropped Corey off at Christopher's house?
On April 2nd, you said?
Yeah,
Around 9 a.m.
9 AM?
Yes.
And then you went right home?
I believe so.
And at what time did Christopher ask you to send him the insurance card information?
Around 3:30.
Do you remember in this Facebook chat, at about 3:49 p.m., asking a person named Justin Boydbrander to bring me a bump?
Yes. Yes, yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yes,
Okay. So that's the day Corey died,
it was.
okay?
I
That's
want to hear something.
3 p.m.
Sorry, guys. I just want to hear that one more time. The time.
At about 3:49 p.m., asking a person named Justin Boydbrander to, at about 3:49 p.m.,
So remember, he texts her all this that is going on with her child at about 3:30 and asks for his medical card. So being an ex-user and being told that your child's lethargic, complaining of this, complaining of that, going through this symptom and that symptom, you know, a lot of addicts, it's at the height of the most stressful, like, kind of periods that will normally make them relapse back into this particular addictions that may be happening, from what I'm understanding on things. However, she did text in her boyfriend these things, and she admits it.
asking a person named Justin.
The Hive. We were in the Hive. Yeah, I was there Monday. And I knew about the pet issues. Yeah, I just hope everything's okay with her still, you know.
Boydbrander to bring me a bump.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's been pretty rainy. However, you know, you did have some warm spells, so she might be out mushroom hunting too. Come to think of it. So let's go back. People, listen.
Asking a person named Justin Boydbrander to bring me a bump.
Yes. Yes, yeah.
Well,
You remember that,
right
right?
after
Yes.
finding out her son's
So
going
that's
to
the day
hospital,
Corey died,
It was.
okay?
She asked her boyfriend. to bring
That's
her.
the day that you don't know what's going on, right? You don't have any idea what's going on yet, right?
Correct.
All right?
No, but
And you're
she's
asking Justin to bring you a methamphetamine.
Yes.
So, and you said that you relapsed in February.
Yes.
Is that true?
I actually, that day I didn't do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you
So-
wanted to do it.
I mean, yeah, I was very upset about my son being abused.
So you wanted a what is it?
Methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine. Do you recall on the same time, a little later in the afternoon, where you are saying,
Yep.
can I come over and buy one?
What time was this? 4:03. Yeah.
Probably. That must
I do, yeah. This is the same text message then? Yeah.
I will never forget when she first started, the first year when she started her channel. She always said, my mushrooms come before you guys. I'm sorry, not sorry, but I'm going mushroom hunting before I stay here with you guys. She's very honest about it, right? Though can't help but like the honesty from the people when they're the most honest.
And do you recall then going on and saying, I mean, I could get it by myself?
Yep.
Yes.
I just don't want that much.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean? I don't want that much.
I wasn't like,
So she wasn't. So he was like, well, how much do you want? Well, I don't want that much. She's like, I don't want to fall back down that loop, you know, kind of basically almost putting out there in that sense. I don't want that much. I don't want enough to put me back on this track of being addicted again, but enough to calm my feelings, because that's what she feels will calm her anxiety and stress. It seems to be like that. I don't know. Yeah, she cracks me up. That's why I have always felt a kinship with her. Yeah, she's always she's very honest. Listen, Anarchy, if you haven't been watching Queen Bee, I highly recommend her channel. She's great. She's fun to laugh with. She does have some drama over there, but it's I think it's more along she makes the drama fun in a sense. She laughs about a lot, so in between, you know, covering things that she covers. If you want to look into her. Her tolerance to would have been lower too. Yes, exactly. So she wouldn't have needed much, you know, even if she was just looking to calm her levels or her anxiety or whatever it may have been that she was looking to cover, you know, like feel numbness too. I guess that's what you would say. I have no idea. Don't ask me about that stuff.
An active addiction, so I didn't.
Ooh, I missed the person you are discussing. Phone is going off. Sorry. Oh, we were talking. Mystery and I were talking about Queen Bee. Queen Bee. She's cool. She's good. She's good peeps. Definitely is. I enjoy listening to her streams. Lots of laughs take place over there. The snark is definitely big there. Yes.
Need much, so that's what that means.
Explain to me what that means. I don't.
Objection, Judge.
I
She
don't-
just answered the question.
Can you rephrase?
When you said I don't need that much to Justin Wardren, are you discussing with him the amount of methamphetamine that you wanted?
Yes.
Okay, so when you said I don't want that much, it's less than you normally take?
Yeah.
At about 3:49 PM, asking a person named Justin Wardren to bring me a bump.
Yes. I see it.
You remember that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the day Corey died,
It was.
okay? That's the day
Oh, yeah,
that you don't know what's going on, right? You don't have any idea what's going on yet, right?
Correct.
All right? And you're asking Justin to bring you the methamphetamine.
Yes.
So, and you said that you relapsed
It was
in
her friend. You're
February.
absolutely right,
Yes.
Anarchy.
Is that true?
Queen
I
Bee.
actually that day I didn't do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you wanted to do it.
I mean, yeah, I was very upset about my son being abused.
So you wanted a methamphetamine, what is it?
Methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine. Do you recall on that same time, a little later in the afternoon, where you are saying, can I come over and buy one?
What time was this?
Wait,
4:03. I do. Yeah. This is the same text message then. Yeah.
and do you recall then going on and saying, I mean, I could get it by myself,
Yes.
I just don't want that much?
Yes.
Now, what does that mean, I don't want
This
that
is all
much?
happening.
I
at the
wasn't
same time.
like in active addiction, so I didn't need much. So that's what that means.
Explain to me what that means. I don't.
Objection, Judge.
I
She
don't-
just answered the question.
Can you rephrase?
When you said I don't need that much to Justin Wardren, are you discussing with him the amount of methamphetamine that you wanted?
Yes.
Okay, so when you said I don't want that much, it's less than you normally take?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was-
what did you normally take?
More than that, I guess.
Well, what was that?
A bump?
A bump? One bump? Well, how big is a bump?
I don't know. Depends.
Depends on who's doing
What
it.
does it depend on?
I don't know.
Whoever puts it out. I don't know what you're asking me really.
I'm asking you what you were asking for,
Methamphetamine,
and how much of it.
a bump. I don't know how to explain it anybody else.
So on the day
I do believe she's changing her Rumble also to Queen Sidebar instead of Queen what is it? Queen Hideout, I think that's what it is right now. I'm not even sure. I don't even remember what her Rumble was. But I know she said something about adding Sidebar to it. She probably was stressed out and trying to calm herself down. Exactly. And you know, it's probably also, you know, going along with what you're saying, Wyoming, is so she texted him at 3:49 after finding out that that her son was on the way to the hospital and this was going wrong with him. So she texts him at 3:49 and then again at 4:03, I think they said, or 4:07, something like that. And basically talking to him about coming over and just purchasing what little bit she thought she needed or wanted or whatever. And I'm sure in between then and actually coming and making the purchase, who knows what could have happened. Maybe she never even showed up. Who knows? I can't remember her if she answered that question or not. But, you know, she has been saying, you know, while testifying, she never ended up getting it that day, never ended up actually going and doing it. You know, she asked for it. That doesn't mean it probably for most addicts, I would assume, knowing a few of them in my times, I would assume, you know, it was just like a fallback, like a reaction kind of thing. It happened. It was more like a reactionary thing. Rumble is Queen's Dive Bar. Yes, but I think she said that she's going to turn it to Sidebar. Damn it, I have a visitor on their way. I love you all. If I drop off, I will be back when you do it again stuff. Okay, no problem, Anarchy. You can always come back and watch replay and catch back up to where we all are after when we end tonight, which will probably be in about 45-ish minutes. So we're going to continue on with this, so that way we can hopefully get through this one. We're going to go back.
That you are complaining that your son was allegedly abused by Christopher. You're asking your boyfriend to bring you methamphetamine.
I did.
Okay. So now let's go to the events.
Yes.
Okay. When you dropped Corey off at the gym, Christopher had given you permission to take him to the party.
Yes.
Because it was an unscheduled visitation.
Correct.
So it was my scheduled visitation. You requested of him on a day that's not yours, if you could take your son to a party in Pennsylvania. Am I right?
Yes.
And he agreed to that.
He did.
You said, sure, take him to the party.
Yeah.
And then did you agree on a time you were supposed to bring him home?
Yes.
Okay. And did you take him home that time?
No.
You took him home late?
I was late.
You were late. And he was upset?
Yes.
So then you guys had an argument, right?
Yeah, over text, yeah.
Over text. We saw some of those texts. We'll get to some of those texts in a little while.
Yeah.
So now there comes a time where after April 20th, that you have visitation again.
April 20th or March 20th?
March 20th.
Yeah. Yes.
You have visitation again.
I did.
Right. And your visitation was usually on a Thursday?
I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
enjoy your
I
think it was Wednesdays, honestly. Yeah.
So how often would you get him during the week?
It depended on his mood.
On whose mood?
The defendant's.
So the court didn't tell you what days you had?
Well, yeah, so there was a court order, yes.
Okay,
That said, so it was Wednesday and then every other weekend.
So then it wasn't up to his mood, it was up to a court order, am I right?
You're right.
All right, I'm right.
Yes.
So when you just said it was up to the defendant.
For any extra days, it would be up to him.
Oh, did the court say that?
No.
Oh, so he would give you extra days if you asked him?
Yes.
And he gave it
If
to
he
you?
was in the mood to give me them, yes.
And he gave it to you?
Sometimes.
Okay, but the court order said Wednesday?
Yes.
And he gave it to you every Wednesday?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And sometimes when you ask, like on Halloween, right? Didn't he ask you once on Halloween? You asked if you could have Corey for Halloween, so you could go trick-or-treating?
Oh, yes. I remember that.
And he said yes.
Yes.
Okay. But every Wednesday was court order, right?
I believe that's the day. I think so. Not
But you
100%.
had him, how many days a week were you allowed to visit?
On Wednesdays and then every other weekend.
Okay.
Oh, that's attorney Mario Gallucci. Boy, he is animated and going for it. I was just saying to my colleagues, we got to get him on the show after the trial's over. Wow, going after her, not pulling any punches. Let's talk about this with our guest I have in the studio, family law attorney and law professor Randy Kessler, and standing by remotely, retired DEA supervisory special agent Michael Wilhite. All right, Randy, you were just saying you liked what was going on there, how the custody stuff where he really went for it, didn't he?
You know, there are all sorts of stories in here, and you'll have 2020. There are defense attorneys that wear bright green outfits, and the reason I do that is I want them looking at me, not looking at my client. Same thing here. Look at her. She's not.
Sorry, trying to turn on the camera for you guys tonight. Let's speed up.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Thanks for being with us. I'm Julie.
It was not.
Bitter custody battle over their now deceased son, Corey.
So the weekend that you took him on the 20th to the party,
Hi, Anarchy.
that wasn't your weekend.
Enjoy your
The
time.
following weekend was not.
Yes.
And you took that?
I did.
Okay. So April 5th,
Granting
and I guess it would be the
notice after
27th.
Corey's
Right, would you
passing
say April?
in the
Okay,
autopsy
March, thank you,
report.
March 27th
I agree.
would be the 25th, would probably be the beginning of that weekend, right?
I think it was the 28th, 27th.
And to me, really, I mean, why else would you run unless you were feeling of some chance of you being charged with something? If you weren't feeling like you were responsible, you know what I mean? There's only one reason why somebody that loses a child and just ups and runs to a whole nother state, you know what I mean? And has to be tracked down by the law side of things. So that's crazy.
Was this that Saturday? Yes.
And wasn't that Saturday the day he had to do the flag football?
Yes.
Now, didn't he stay at Christopher's house that night?
Friday night, yes.
Friday night.
Yes.
It was your weekend, all right?
Yes.
Where did you stay that night?
At my house.
You stayed at your house?
Yes.
Do you recall that Christopher asked you if he could have Corey?
Objection, hearsay.
Why did you leave Corey there Friday night?
Chris wouldn't let me pick him up.
Okay. Did he get to the practice on time? Oh, by the way, did you agree to that? It was your weekend.
No, he wouldn't let Corey go with me.
To home?
To my house. He wouldn't let me pick him up.
Did you do anything about that?
We met at the police station. He wouldn't let Corey out of the car.
And the police department said that was okay?
Yes.
Yes?
They did.
So you're saying that this time.
Well,
Okay. But the police, you would meet at the police station to exchange for?
only when he was in a bad mood.
When Corey was in a bad mood?
Christopher.
All right. So you would meet on Wednesdays at the police station if Christopher was in a bad mood?
Yes.
But if he wasn't in a bad mood, you would meet his house?
Yes.
And if he was in a really good mood, you would actually sleep over his house?
Yes.
And how often did you do that?
It depended. Sometimes a few times a week, sometimes once. Sometimes just the weekend, sometimes the weekdays.
And how long did that go?
About 4 months, maybe 3 months.
And was that in 2021?
Yes.
So if March 20th was the treadmill,
March 20th.
so we're saying from like January to the beginning of March, you were sleeping over his house during this time?
Maybe early December.
Did you guys discuss actually getting a house together?
We did.
Did you actually look at houses together?
We did not.
So up until this point in March of 2021, you still only had visitation rights,
Yes.
no custody.
I had half legal custody and every other weekend. Yeah.
Okay, so half legal custody, meaning you had him on Wednesdays and every other week,
Yes.
but you didn't have full parental custody.
No,
And why was that?
because I was working towards getting more custody.
And how did you do that?
What do you mean?
How did you do that? What was the work you did? Tell me the work you did.
I got clean and I was trying to go back to court and ask the judge for more time with Corey.
And that's just around the time that you had made an emergent order.
Yes.
You requested an emergent order
Correct.
to get custody of Corey and have it taken away from Chris.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
Yes.
Because you saw bruises on Corey
Yes.
and you immediately made an emergent application. By the way, weren't you active for rights?
I was. Yes.
So now you see the bruises on Corey, you make an emergent application, and that's denied.
It is.
And as a result of it being denied, you then get an order from the court that tells you and Christopher that together you should make an appointment with a pediatrician through DCP and Pick.
Correct.
You didn't do that, though.
Yes, I did.
No.
I took him to the pediatrician.
You did.
Yes.
You didn't do it together with him as the court order had stated.
No.
And
He
you
did-
decided on your own. Did you decide on your own?
Yes.
You were take it.
Yes.
You violated court order.
I mean, I don't think it said he had to be present during that. It just said that he needed to go to a pediatrician. So
I don't know about that.
So you mean to tell me now you're going to say he violated court's or she violated court's order because he, the father, refused to go to the appointment that was made because the courts ordered this to happen. So it's her fault the father decided he wasn't going to go? Stop it, defense attorney. I know he is doing his job for that low life, but this is vile and in my opinion, on his part. I agree with you. I do agree. And I'm thinking that she changed just the hive to the hive sidebar. Oh, okay. Okay. I knew he was wrong and Corey's unaliving would and did prove it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's gross what this is attorney's trying to push off as the doings. In to turn the cards on the mother. I don't. I wonder if okay, so like I get it, it's defense attorneys' jobs to basically spin a narrative that's plausible on the behalf of their defendant. But I wonder if any of these attorneys that actually do that in these cases actually feel bad for having to do it after doing it, especially if they get their client off. You know what I mean? But yet they feel like he's guilty AF kind of thing, or she's guilty AF, but I did my job, I got her off, and now I let somebody that I feel like perpetuated this instance to happen are free. You know, it's such a crazy place to be in. I don't think I would do well as a defense attorney. I would have too much guilt in that case on my shoulders. I would feel like, I don't know. I wonder if any do feel guilty though.
So now
We're having to do that.
you take him to the pediatrician.
I did.
Take him to Ivy Pediatrician.
Yes.
And at Ivy, they tell you that, you know,
What
these
did
are
they
some
do
bumps and
now?
bruises, is suspicious of
Yeah.
child abuse.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
And at this point, you don't know anything about the treadmill that we just saw.
No.
And they recommend to you that you take him to Jersey Shore Medical Center at that point.
Yes. Well, community medical center first.
Like they said Jersey Shore Medical.
Objection, Judge, it's hearsay.
Center.
They said, well,
Right, so it's hearsay, but in terms of how she reacts to that, I'm gonna allow, not for the truth of the matter, but for where you took the child.
okay, thank you.
So you took the child to,
Community medical
and
center.
when you got to community medical center, they also did evaluation,
They did,
and they said, and you then, as a result of that, took him to Jersey Shore Medical Center.
because there is a child abuse pediatrician there.
Okay. So there was no child abuse pediatrician at the other two
Not that
hospitals.
worked with DCPMD.
So when you got to Jersey Shore Medical Center, that's when they told you, you should.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to either.
Oh, no.
No.
No, they never told you that? You never signed a piece of paper saying that you were leaving against their medical advice?
At community medical center, I did, because they wanted to transport him in an ambulance, and I said I was going to drive him. They didn't tell me why, but yes, I signed that.
That's a good cross, and he's not done.
All right.
So full disclosure, my friend.
Of course, he's just doing his job, and he's doing a damn good job at it. I mean, but still, ugh, gross. And I don't understand how he can be okay with that.
He
you know?
reveals some inappropriate acts by Brianna Michelot after Corey's passing. Take a look.
After Corey passed, did you, your mother, and two other people have occasion to go to Christopher's parents' home?
Have a what? I'm sorry.
Go to Christopher's parents' home,
We did.
okay? And when you went there, did you, your mother, and others throw several objects at that house?
My mother was not involved. It was me and two friends, and yes, we did.
And at that time, you threw eggs,
Yes.
dead goldfish.
I don't think they were goldfish. It was fish from the supermarket.
So let me understand this. You woke up on this day, you decided you were going to drive to his parents' house, but before you did that, you actually put the thought in to go to a supermarket and buy fish.
Yes.
And you drove to his house, and you threw the fish. Were they dead? Or did you get fresh fish?
It was it wasn't fresh. It was
Well, did you get it from the market that had one of those tanks?
no. It was a dead fish.
What kind of fish?
I don't remember.
Was it expensive fish?
Not really.
So you got cheap fish.
No.
So you got this fish, meat bones. What's a meat bone?
I don't remember that.
And goose eggs. Goose egg stones.
Oh, stones. Okay.
What is a goose egg stone?
I don't know.
Just
It sounds like a stone, but
So you throw rocks. So you throw rocks, dead fish, bones, and eggs at Christopher's parents' house.
yes.
By the way, did you ever set up a GoFundMe page on Corey Passing?
I didn't do it directly myself. No.
I mean, think about it. If the worst she did was went to his parents' house, in my opinion, and thrown fish at their house, eggs and goose egg size stones at their home in retaliation to what she feels happened to her child, that's good compared to what some people will go to the extent of doing. If you're getting what I'm putting down here, you know, there's others that out here that are put in this situation that go to way greater extents and winding themselves in the same seat he's currently in. At least they have their, I gotta say, at least he's here to be able to have the chance of, you know, having his trial, being found guilty or not guilty. But, you know, she's angry at the time. I got to give it to her. I mean, there could be so much worse that she could have done. They could be just like her and childless. In some cases, that's what happens. That's what happens. It's sad, but it's true.
The GoFundMe page set
So
up?
why I just can't.
By who, you know?
I'm not sure. I can't remember that.
Was it set up on a website or a Facebook group called Justice for Corey?
No.
Do you know what Justice for Corey?
I do.
Okay, and who set that up?
That was me.
Who set that up? And in the Justice for Corey
Yeah.
site,
Was it posted that you had a GoFundMe?
It could have been.
Oh, you're the administrator.
I am. It's been a few years.
Okay.
There's a lot of posts in that group.
Okay, well, you're the administrator.
Yes, there's other ones too, yeah.
How many administrators are there?
There's two others.
Two others.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming the administrator, a Facebook group, that, but I'm assuming that, and you tell me that you're wrong, but
Look at most 90% of cases that are out here today that do these same things. Start up immediately if they have like a missing child or a child in the hospital or husband in the hospital. There's so many that automatically right away their first go-to is to create, somebody in the family, a friend, or whatever it may be. They immediately jump to creating a GoFundMe, starting a group to have people backing, and supporting said persons that whatever is happening involves. Let's say it's somebody sick, then, and it's a parent, so there's going to be somebody that sparks up a GoFundMe to help raise money for bills and stuff while going through a hard time. That happens every day. So why he's making a big deal of her family or somebody, that was in this group sparking up a GoFundMe or putting out her Cash App or something to help support her during this time being period is so common these days. So him bringing it up it's bad. It just really flabbergasts me. Seth, panel hopper. Yes, exactly. For instance, Seth. Yes, even he has one out there. The mother and her husband don't, but I mean, they probably make enough money to be able to surpass them. However, if Seth also said, taking off time from work while searching for his child, which he was told not to do by law enforcement, so he didn't have to. So him losing out on possible employment, that falls kind of like on his shoulders, in my own opinion. He knew he was taking that risk, especially being new at the job. You know what I mean? He was new at his job still, and he's choosing to take all these months off. Yeah, he's looking for his son and whatever that may be, but even law enforcement told him not to do that. They don't want him to stumble upon anything that he shouldn't see,
But a Facebook group administrator gets notices when things are posted on the page.
Yes.
Okay. So you're the administrator.
I was.
So you got
I am.
notice. Are you telling me you didn't
You
know
pull back
that
up
on the
this-
Facebook for Corey page, there's postings up there for a Justice for Corey Cash App and GoFundMe?
Allegedly, it was made
Possibly,
by
but there are a lot
Seth's sister.
of posts that went up. The group was very popular.
Did you earn any money from the GoFundMe page that was set up?
Did I what?
Earn any money from that GoFundMe page?
I did.
Yes. How much money did you earn from the GoFundMe page that
Really?
was set up that you say you know nothing about?
I knew it was set up. I'm not the one that set it up, and I don't recall who set it up.
But you profited.
I did. Yeah.
So how much?
Right, but I mean, still, he has one. There's so many parents out here. I mean, even Candace and Don had one done up for them, and most people that have a close-knit person to them that fall upon a hard time, they're going to have somebody that's going to do it and start one up in hopes that that person receives a little bit of relief in a time period, because at the time you're not thinking, oh, so and so could be guilty in any way. Are they saying that the father didn't do this? Well, okay, that's on him. Just like, when it falls back on Katie and Chris, they don't have one either. It's okay if you don't. If you have somebody there that's wanting to do that for you and help you through this time, you can't. I mean, you take whatever help at that time that is given, if you're feeling what I'm feeling. I mean, most people in that time, they're like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Just do whatever you're going to do. I don't care. At this point, that's not my focus of things. This right here is. So whatever, do what you're going to do. I mean, that's how I would respond to it. I don't care what you do. Just do whatever you're going to do. I'm focused on this.
I don't recall.
So do you recall how much the GoFundMe was for?
No.
Are you also aware that in addition to the GoFundMe that you made money off of, they also started a Cash App campaign?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Yeah, could have been starting court.
Since this is pretending, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand again before swear you in again for today.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes. Sit down, raise your hand, your full name again.
Brianna Mitchell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gucci.
Thank you, Ron.
I just feel like
Morning,
in
Ms.
that
Mitchell.
case,
Morning.
How are you?
I'm a little,
Okay, how are you?
I'm
So, last night after we left, did you have an opportunity to meet with either one of these prosecutors?
I did not.
Until trial happens, we get more
After you left
picture
court?
evidence than
So
anything
yesterday you
being
discussed a video that you
in
had
order
taken
to convict
the
them.
morning you dropped Corey off at Christmas house.
Yes,
And you said that you had taken that video and that it was accidental, that you had no idea you had taken it. Am I right?
you're right.
Now, on the record examination, you said that as you were driving to Christopher's home, your son was on your phone watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, he would give me my phone back when Christopher texted me and when we got to his house.
Okay, so you're saying that he gave you your phone back, you turned off YouTube, and then accidentally hit the camera?
I must have, yes. Yeah. Mhm.
And that's the first time you ever did that?
Yes.
Now, yesterday, you also testified that you left Community Medical Center against medical advice because you thought it would be quicker for you to get Corey to Jersey Shore Medical Center, right?
Yes.
And look, this is D. 7.
All right. It's like we are in a meeting of the minds, huh?
Show you these. Take a look.
What do you want me to do? You want me to just look at it? Okay.
I'm with you. This way, I'm with you.
Yes.
Okay, now does that refresh your recollection as to why you left Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us what you did, what you told them? at Jersey Shore Medical Center?
It says, given that she needs to bring her husband, or her child to her husband within the next few hours.
So you didn't leave because you wanted to get to Jersey Shore Medical Center. You left, according to that record, you told people at the hospital that you wanted to take your son to his father.
Okay, so I got to get my kid home. I got to get him home tonight. He's due to be home. I'm already late. I don't got time to stand here and wait for your ambulance to transport him. I can get it done quicker if I am to bring him there myself in hopes that he won't be any later than what he has to be. She doesn't have to say all of that, you know, in any kind of words to the hospital. If she told them, yeah, he's due to be back home, I got to get him home. So waiting here for another half hour for you guys to transport him, it puts me a half hour behind time. When he could have been home a half hour sooner if I am to take him from here and take him myself. Yeah, it's so crazy. And we already see how he is acting on text messages with her. When you're going through this type of stuff, you're not thinking, oh, you know, tomorrow something's going to happen that I'm going to need to be able to have full, you know, backup. Like I have to completely document my moves. You know, you're not thinking that at the time. You're just, let me just do what I got to do. I got to get my kid home to their father. He's due home. His father's already blowing up my phone. I got to go. I don't got time to wait a half hour for your ambulance. I'm just going to take him, you know?
Yes, that's what I said yesterday. I didn't say it was because I was rushing because I was on limited time.
So once again, that hospital, Community Medical Center, advised you to not take your child from the hospital.
It says they offered to transfer the patient, and then it also says he gave me the opportunity to leave at the hospital against medical advice.
Against medical advice. So they wanted you to leave Corey at the hospital and have him transported to another hospital. And you said no.
I drove him myself.
And the smoke is complete.
Either way, the kid ended up at the other hospital. What the hell is your point? The attorney pisses me off at this point. What are you trying to say? The boy still ended up at the hospital. My divorce was not pretty
Yeah,
either.
Hannah.
But my kids are very,
Yeah. Judge,
very
yes.
healthy. Yes.
To show you it's been marked as DA.
Yep.
Is that a release that, it says Corey's signature, did you sign that, Corey?
Yes.
Okay. And does that refresh your recollection as to what you signed when you left the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, and is that a release
Yes.
saying that they advised you not to take Corey from that hospital and they needed to take him to another hospital?
Yes.
Now, yesterday, I believe we testified.
We've done something. Yeah. Handled everything right. You know? Which, you know, with you even saying that, you know, your divorce was not pretty. So I'm sure you dealt with, you know, times like this. When you're put in this kind of stance, I myself have dealt with issues when it comes to something like this, you know. However, I never had my child's parent go to the extent to being mad if we get out of the hospital late, or if I've never been mad at my children's father, you know, for getting out of a hospital late. If I mean, things happen. If it gets too late, just keep them overnight, keep her overnight, keep them overnight, whatever it may be. Just make sure that our kid is okay. That's all I care about. Make sure our kid's okay. And we will worry about the rest when the rest arises, you know? And obviously this guy didn't see it that way, in my opinion. That's my own thoughts.
Then there was some point that you lived in Florida.
Yes.
And how long did you live in Florida?
A few years.
Do you remember what those years were?
2015, 16.
I mean, everybody, yeah.
And you had Corey with you, right?
Yes.
And your mother? And your father, right?
Correct.
And what was your father's name again?
Vito.
I'm sorry that we did that.
Now, while in Florida, did there come a point where you...
Objection, Judge. This is really outside of scope.
So here's the thing. The way that I see it is there's things to be thought about, you know, and there's things that are just off the realm. Absolutely, you don't go there, especially when it comes to the health of said, you know, the children in play. When it comes to something like this, I don't care how bad your custody battle is getting, or how bad vile it is in court. What's in court is in court. When it comes to the health of your child, that comes first, and nothing should come above that. Not even the simple fact that you're mad because they're not back at this certain time, you know. I just eek. This defense attorney gives me ick vibes, but he's doing his job. He is doing his job. I mean, he's putting reasonable doubt, possibly, you know, he's doing a good job planting seeds.
We didn't go into this area whatsoever. Yes, thank you.
The
Okay, well, they are at sidebar arguing that objection. I want to get my guest thoughts. Retired DEA Supervisory Special Agent Michael T. Wilhite Sr. is with us watching along remotely. Michael, so we're seeing the resumption of the cross and then some decisions. Little
definitely it.
You know what I'm saying? He's being
a lot of it.
I mean, he's doing a good job doing the whole
the picture that the
reasonable doubt.
Michael, what I think is going to sought the opinion of a classify that as
three different manners.
You're going to speed up for this.
But
whether the act. Back to Court TV Live, let's take you back to New Jersey, where defendant Christopher Greger is on trial, being accused of murdering his 6-year-old son by forcing him to run on a treadmill repeatedly after the child kept falling. Now, the child's mother is on the witness stand, and she was with the boy when he ultimately died, and the cause of death is what's in question in this case. And mom has a lot of serious issues herself, and they're all being brought out on cross. That sidebar's over. Court took a short break. Let's go back in.
At sidebar, state objected to certain testimony that defense counsel.
Well, am I the only one that's confused on this part? So like the reporter that was just speaking was saying the mother was with the boy at the time of the death. However, the mother stated in testimony and testifying that she was at home when the officer came and informed her of the child's death. So what, I mean, maybe the reporter is getting it kind of backwards. Did anybody else catch that? What, is it just me? Am I mishearing things? Maybe I'll go back and check and double check and check as to what was said when she was testifying about that part. But I'm almost sure she said that the officers came to her door that day around 5 p.m. and informed her of the child's death.
Intends to elicit evidently regarding Ms. Michelot.
Yep. Anything and everything.
And where she was living at certain times. All this information is.
They do take it to
Neither side has made a motion to eliminate either to admit it or to bar it. So the court will conduct a 104A hearing to determine whether or not the testimony is admissible. Mr. Gallucci, I think it asked this way. Any objection, Mr. Gallucci proceeds along his line of questioning for me to determine what he's going to elicit, or is this something the state wants to bring out? You're objecting to it, right?
We are, Judge, yeah.
All right, so you're the proponent of it then, so you should go first as the proponent. And tell me what you seek to elicit.
Ms. Michelot, there came a time when you lived in Florida that you gave Corey to a woman named Teresa Tunstall who lived in Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Correct?
Yeah, because they said that when she dropped him off in that video, that was at the when she dropped him off that morning after going to the hospital that the night prior, that was the last time she saw him. Is when he got out of her vehicle, walked up to the house, and seemed to be fine, and walked into his dad's home. So yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe it's just a understanding with the reporter and what's being testified to.
That's it, Judge. Yes, no.
That's how
Right, so, but it, what I said in sidebar, the parties have mentioned Pennsylvania, you have witnesses from Pennsylvania. Is that, this is one question, but are you going to do anything else with respect to that now?
With this witness?
Well, at least with this witness, right?
With this witness, no, but will I call Ms. Tunstall? I may.
All right, so then I would like you to confer with the state on that, and the two of you give me some notice in advance, so we can perhaps do a 104 hearing at 9 in the morning before we bring the jury over, something to determine that the state's represented, that whatever occurred before Mr. Greger was advised, was made aware of the allegation he was the biological father. So you would have to demonstrate for me why that's relevant to issues in this case, something that occurred before his involvement in the child's life. It may be, but it may not be. If it's relevant, it may be prejudicial value may be outweighed by what little probative value you may have as well. I can't make that determination unless I know more about what's to be said. Sure, yeah, I mean, I told him to go there and have some coffee and some snacks, so certainly didn't think it was a 104 hearing, it was going to take 30 seconds. If I knew she was going to say incorrect, then we would have excused the jury, but the state appeared concerned that there was a long line of information here.
Roger, can I continue question, Professor?
What's the process?
I'm going to ask her if she knows Ms. Tunstall.
All right, go ahead.
Do you know Ms. Tunstall?
No.
Any objections by Officer Bennett, tell them to knock when they're ready, in case they just pour a cup of coffee or something like that?
There's no objection, Judge. Thank you.
All right, you just tell them to knock when they're ready.
Just let us know when you guys are ready. If you want some coffee or snacks, let us know to knock on
All right, it's going to be time for the redirect examination. So an important point to make here. This is a witness called by the state to help support their case. But when you're on the side of the state, the Commonwealth, whatever, and you're a prosecutor, you can't pick your witnesses. Unfortunately, you just get who you get, and you get all the problems they have along with it. And this defense attorney has done a tremendous job exploring all of the problems, whether it be addiction, the GoFundMe, all of the things that this child's mother has done. And remember, she didn't have custody of him at the time of his death. Let's go back in now and see what the state has to redirect their witness.
We're continuing with the testimony.
I do, Judge.
Please go ahead.
So, Brianna, on October 28th of 2020, you and the defendant were granted joint custody, right?
Correct.
And previous to this, you did not have custody of Corey. It was your mother.
Correct.
And on April 1st of 2021, you picked up Corey and took him to the pediatrician.
Correct.
And this was during your visitation time with Corey, right?
Correct.
And while you're at the pediatrician or on your way to community medical center, you received the order from the family court where your application for full custody was denied.
Correct.
So when you received this order, you had already been at the pediatrician.
Yes.
And while you were at Community Medical Center, you actually spoke to the defendant.
Yes.
And you told him that you were taking Corey to Jersey Shore Medical Center.
Right. Yes.
And the defendant actually called the police.
Yes.
And you told the defendant that he could go to Jersey Shore Medical Center.
Objection.
Correct.
What's your objection?
It's relevant, it's hearsay, it's.
Well, it's leading. It's a little bit leading. I know you're trying to direct your testimony to be less leading. In terms of parties notifying each other about the child, that was a subject on cross-examination to a great extent about the pediatrician visit. So it's permissible in order to provide context to the conversation. So we'll check the leading nature.
So while you were at Jersey Shore Medical Center, you had a conversation with the defendant.
Yes.
Now, did you offer to bring Corey home back to Barnegat after Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Yes.
And did the defendant ever respond to your request to do this?
No.
And while Corey was at Jersey Shore Medical Center, was he ever diagnosed with sepsis?
No.
And was Corey medically cleared from Jersey Shore Medical Center?
Yes.
And was there a scheduled appointment for April 2nd for Corey to see a CPC pediatric specialist?
Yes.
And did the defendant cancel this appointment?
Yes.
And could you take Corey to see the specialist without the defendant?
No, he wouldn't allow it.
And when you dropped off Corey on April 2nd, what choice did you have in bringing him back to his father's house?
Well, he already called the cops on me for kidnapping, so I didn't really have any other choice, just for keeping him a few hours late at the hospital.
Can I see the defense exhibit? The community cell. Can you show them? Do I have permission?
All right, we're gonna hit pause right here while there's that little pregnant pause in the courtroom. Don't go anywhere. Court TV Live rolls on after this. Welcome back to Court TV Live. We're in New Jersey for the treadmill abuse trial involving defendant Christopher Gregor. The victim is his 6-year-old son. The question is, did him putting his child on the treadmill and watching him repeatedly fall cause the child's death? The child's mother is on the witness stand. She's being redirected by the state after a pretty devastating cross-examination that spanned 2 days. Let's go back in where we left off.
Yeah, Brianna, you took Corey to Community Medical Center, correct?
Yes.
And I'm now showing you what's been marked D7 for identification purposes. And can you read this paragraph in terms of the emergency department course and treatment, the entire paragraph?
Starting here, patient scene.
Yes, please.
Patient seen and examined in the emergency department. History and physical obtained. Prior medical records requested and reviewed. Initial assessment and exam completed. I had an extensive discussion with the mother at bedside and discussed with her the plan for the patient. I offered to transfer the patient to Jersey Shore Medical Center, where the CPAP specialist, as well as his pediatrician, were located for further management, evaluation, as well as blood work. I also gave the mother the opportunity to leave the hospital against medical advice and drive her child to the hospital herself. She states that she would rather leave against medical advice, given that she needs to bring her child to her husband within the next few hours.
Okay, and I'm now showing you what's been marked D8. Now, this was a release form that was given to you at Community Medical Center, right?
Yes.
And that's a standard release form that would be utilized regarding any patient who would sign a child out of a hospital.
Correct.
Sorry about that, guys.
And your purpose, again, of signing Corey out of the hospital would be so he could get there faster.
Correct.
Now, in regard to Justice for Corey, is that a private Facebook group chat?
Yes.
And if you would like to become a member for Justice for Corey, then it would have to be an accepted friend request.
Yes.
Objection needed.
Can you describe the website?
Yeah,
the
so
Facebook chat?
it's a Facebook group. If you want to join, you have to answer a few questions, and then an admin has to approve you to join the group. And if you want to post, then it gets approved as well.
And do you personally know all the members who are a part of this group chat?
No.
And what was the purpose of setting up Justice for Corey?
To get justice for Corey.
And in particular, there are members who were on this site who had set up donation or fundraising.
Correct.
And can you tell the jurors about that?
The first, so most of it was spent for his funeral, and then the other was spent for a plot for myself in the cemetery with him. So when I pass, I can be buried next to him.
And there was a GoFundMe page set up?
That's what that was.
And what were the expenses for the GoFundMe page for?
That was for the funeral and the plot.
And what about this Cash App? Can you explain to the jurors what that was for?
Yeah, so members were asking one of the admins if they could help us with just everyday things. So the admin decided to set it up just so people were just saying go get some coffee, go get dinner. They just wanted to help.
And did you set up this Cash App?
No.
And who set up the Cash App?
I agree with you.
One of the members.
And that would be for donations?
Yes.
We don't have any further questions, Judge.
Did you use any of those donations to buy the fish that you threw to the Gregor?
I did not. No.
Now, you said that you paid for the funeral.
Yes.
Okay, did the Gregor family pay for the funeral?
No.
They didn't?
No, you didn't. No.
So,
I'm sorry.
That part made me so angry. Watch his reaction to all of that when she talks about who paid for the funeral. Watch his reactions.
And who set up the Cash App?
One of the members.
And that would be for donations?
Yes.
We don't have any further questions, Judge.
Did you use any of those donations to buy the fish that you threw at the Greco?
I did not. No.
Now, you said that you paid for the funeral.
Yes.
Okay, didn't the Greco family pay for the funeral?
No.
They didn't?
No, you didn't. No.
So
I'm
He's
sorry.
shaking his head yes.
this Justice for Corey, what's the chat group?
It's a group.
Are you one of the administrators?
I'm one of them, yes.
Who set it up?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
And when you set it up, you set yourself up, I don't understand it, but you set yourself up as the administrator, right?
Yes.
And the administrator is the person that's in charge of the group.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So when you set up a Facebook chat group, you as the administrator set up the rules, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the rules are, like you just told Ms. Lento, are I can let people in if I choose to, or not let people in as I choose to, right?
Right.
And initially, that group was open to the public, right?
For like a month, yeah.
Okay,
At the very beginning.
Okay, and then it was became private.
Yes.
And who did that?
The admins made a decision.
Okay.
We had a conversation and decided.
So you were the initial administrator.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. And now you said that there are additional admins.
Correct.
How many?
There's two others.
Okay, and do you know who those people
I do.
Okay. So you just said you had a meeting with your admins.
Yes.
Okay, and at that meeting, you and your other two administrators, I'm assuming that's what you're called, right?
Yes.
Made a decision to make this group private.
Yes.
Okay, so when you say you don't know who's in the group, are you saying that you set rules up on who can get in the group? You have to answer questions?
Yes.
Okay, and if you answer the questions in a way you or the other two administrators don't like, then you don't let them in your group.
Correct.
Okay, but if they answer the questions right,
Us
then you let them in.
Right.
Listening to them. Why does any of this matter? You know?
No further questions. Thank you.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much for coming in. Here's you.
To
The
me,
treadmill
it's
abuse went
almost
trial in New
like,
Jersey. Christopher Greger is time. She saw
so just one moment. Hold on, just one moment. Let me start back up this real quick.
her son
Just 1 minute. Greg.
alive.
You defended.
Yep.
His legs were hurt.
Did Corey exit your car?
He did.
And can you tell the jurors where Corey walked?
He walked inside the defendant's home.
And how was Corey walking when he went to the defendant's apartment?
Fine.
Brianna, what is the next time that you heard from the defendant on April 2nd of 2021?
Around 3:30.
And did you speak to the defendant on the telephone?
Yes.
And at 3:30 on April 2nd, what did the defendant tell you about Corey?
He said he was lethargic. His legs were hurting. He was sleeping all day, and he was throwing up and just didn't feel good. And then he told me to send Corey's insurance card to him. I started calling the hospitals to see if Corey was there. I also called my local police department.
About 6 o'clock that day on the 2nd, did the police come to your home?
Yes.
And did you learn at that time that Corey had passed?
I did.
All right, well, testimony is still continuing in the trial. The state is playing video of Brianna and Corey arriving at the defendant's apartment complex, and the jury is going to see that video of Corey on the treadmill, the one we've heard so much about. Let's head back into court.
They have good little souls in them. Some of these guests. I enjoy my regulars. His jaw was twitching big time too. Yeah. Crazy.
Okay, Brianna, in regard to video.
We go
A,
back in
there's
case
a car
did.
located on that surveillance video.
Sorry guys, I went back.
to
I'm sorry.
Barnegat after Jersey Shore Medical Center.
A few hours late at the hospital. Medical records requested and reviewed. Initial assessment and exam completed. I had an extensive discussion.
Now, in regard to Justice for Corey, is that a private Facebook group chat?
I'm unsure where we were
And
in the line.
if you would like to become
Guys,
a
do I need
member
to go
for
back?
Justice for Corey, then it would have to be an accepted friend request.
Sorry, I got sidebar. Ooh, shiny things. Squirrel. I seen him coming at my camera and I'm like, oh shit. I forgot I don't know exactly where we were before I left, and I don't want to miss too much because we're gonna have to close down here shortly, and we have approximately 5 minutes of this, but I want everybody to be able to hear it all. Let's see where we were. Back to court. I think this is where we were.
Yeah, Brianna, you took
No,
Corey
that's
to
okay.
community medical
We
center,
were
correct?
supposed
Yes.
to
And I'm now
win.
showing you what's been marked D7 for identification
laptop.
purposes. And can you read this paragraph in terms
Okay.
of the emergency department course and treatment, the entire paragraph?
Starting here, patient scene.
Yes, please.
Patient seen and examined in the emergency department. History and physical obtained. Prior medical records requested and reviewed. Initial assessment and exam completed. I had an extensive discussion with the mother at bedside and discussed with her the plan for the patient. I offered to transfer the patient to Jersey Shore Medical Center, where the CPAP specialist as well as his pediatrician were located for further management, evaluation, as well as blood work. I also gave the mother the opportunity to leave the hospital against medical advice and drive her child to the hospital herself. She states that she would rather leave against medical advice, given that she needs to bring her child to her husband within the next few hours.
Okay, and I'm now showing you what's been marked D8. Now, this was a release form.
Okay, so like if they thought that it was such a medical necessity that he be driven by ambulance or by EMT to the next hospital in any sense of form, or worried that she wasn't going to bring the child to the next hospital where he needed to be seen or any of that, he wouldn't have been released from the hospital. The doctor's stating right there in that report, she was given the option or to transport child herself. It's so what this defense attorney is spinning about her choosing to, that was one of her choices. You can wait for the ambulance or you can transport him yourself.
That was given to you at community medical center, right?
Yes.
And that's a standard release form that would be utilized regarding any patient who would sign a child out of a hospital.
Correct.
And your purpose, again, of signing Corey out of the hospital would be so he could get there faster.
Correct.
Now, in regard to Justice for Corey, is that a private Facebook group chat?
Yes.
And if you would like to become a member for Justice for Corey, then it would have to be an accepted friend request.
Yes.
Objection needed.
Can you describe the website?
Yeah,
or the
so
Facebook chat?
it's a Facebook group. If you want to join, you have to answer a few questions, and then an admin has to approve you to join the group. And if you want to post, then it gets approved as well.
And do you personally know all the members who are a part of this group chat?
No.
And what was the purpose of setting up Justice for Corey?
To get justice for Corey.
And in particular, there are members who were on this site who had set up donation or fundraising.
Correct.
And can you tell the jurors about that?
The first,
yes, absolutely.
So most of it was spent for his funeral, and then the other was spent for a plot for myself in the cemetery with him. So when I pass, I can be buried next to him.
And there was a GoFundMe page set up?
That's what that was.
And what were the expenses for the GoFundMe page for?
That was for the funeral and the plot.
And what about this cash out? Can you explain to the jurors what that was for?
Yes, so members were asking one of the admins if they could help us with just like everyday things. So the admin decided to set it up. Just so people were just saying like, go get some coffee, go get dinner. They just wanted to help.
And did you set up this cash out?
No.
And who set up the cash out?
One of the members.
And that would be for donations?
Yes.
We don't have any further questions, Judge.
Did you use any of those donations to buy the fish that you threw at the Greco?
I did not. No.
Now, you said that you paid for the funeral.
Yes.
Okay, didn't the Greco family pay for the funeral?
No.
They didn't?
No, you didn't. No.
So
I'm sorry.
Okay, we did see this part. Sorry.
this Justice for Corey, what's the chat group?
It's a group.
Are you one of the administrators?
I'm one of them, yes.
Who set it up?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
And when you set it up, you set yourself up, I don't understand it, but you set yourself up as the administrator, right?
Yes.
And the administrator is the person that's in charge of the group.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when you set up a Facebook chat group, you as the administrator set up the rules, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the rules are, like you just told Ms. Lento, are I can let people in if I choose to, or not let people in as I choose to, right?
Right.
And initially, that group was open to the public, right?
For like a month, yeah.
Okay, and then-
very beginning.
Okay, and then it was not. became
We did
private.
see this part, guys. I'm going to go ahead and
Correct.
speed up a little bit.
You made a decision to make this group private.
Yes.
Okay. So when you say,
Correct.
okay, but if the answer to the question is right, they eliminate it.
Right.
We did hear this part. See what happens.
No further questions. Thank you.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Okay, so we did finish that all up. Okay, I see where we're at. So that's we're gonna close this out for tonight. Tomorrow we will pick up this case again. Again, this is the good weekend to stream on, to for me to a good weekend to catch up in everything, to be caught up fully on the case. So probably tomorrow you can add 1 or 3 admins to control a Facebook group. I know I used to be an admin. Yeah. And see, I had I ran this Facebook group with my cousin. Me and her, we ran it. It was the effed up sheesh that you find on the internet. And actually, I do believe that group is still active. Well, not active, so per se, but it's still available to be found. I think I'm almost positive it is. It may not be. I'd have to go in my groups because we actually got, we actually started getting quite a few followers on that page, but then we had a fallout and we just never continued the actual Facebook group for that page. But it's the effed up shit, the effed up you find on the internet or something like that. If I find it one day, if I remember, somebody reminds me, and you're interested in finding it, if it's still active or available to be found, I will get you the link for that. But yeah, I was a part of all of that actually, and I have a few other groups out there for myself that I've done. I've actually made one for one of my cousins that he's running himself now because I put him in charge. I just made the group, put him in charge of the group, then backed out from there because I wanted nothing more to do with it. But he didn't know how to make a group. So I've been in so many graphics Facebook groups long before coming to YouTube. Yeah, see. But we're going to go ahead and end it out right here tonight as I got quite a bit to catch up on after streaming like always. So do look for me. I will try to at least give a half hour to 45 minutes, maybe even more notice before the live tomorrow. I'm going to say maybe 6 p.m.-ish, maybe 7 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. If that's good for others, if not, the replay is always available. I understand sometimes it's hard to make it, but if we stream around that time, maybe we can bring in a few others, get them a little interested in learning about this case and hearing Corey's story, as sad as it is, but maybe we can get some others interested at different times. You don't have to go to bed that your bed is full. What do you mean? Girl, I got to get off of here. I got a job to finish up. I have to go travel and run things upstairs still. And it's that time of the night where I have to do that. And I'm not even ready to do that like normally when I stream on my nights that I'm working anymore. I seem to fall behind. It's an interesting case. It really is. It really is. And it's one of those cases where you can almost be indecisive. You know what I mean? You kind of see from one end of the spectrum, but you can kind of see from the other end at the same time. The defense attorney, I'll say, is putting up a good fight, But yes. Okay, y'all. Praying that Savage Foof. What is this? Savage Foof or let me see. Or Queen Bee is earlier or later than Savage's. LOL. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, no problem, Wyoming. I'm actually enjoying doing some actual content. You know what I mean? I was saying that you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here if you're saying they're sleepy. People are saying they're sleepy. Oh yeah, true. Very. Fuck it up Friday. Yeah, fuck it up Friday. Good idea. Yeah, fuck it up Friday. Praying that Savages fuck it up Friday, or Queen Bee is earlier or later than Savages. Oh yeah, so that way they're not running over top of each other at the same time. It's always hard to pick a streamer what to watch and when that happens. I mean, normally I just go with whatever seems more interesting to me at that time. What can you say? That's normally how things happen. So, all right, y'all. Remember, stay loyal, stay true, stay you. I appreciate you all being here tonight. And love you. Bye.
just a throw down. They novice when I throw down.
We gon' make it all the way. We don't care what they all will say. Don't listen to the hate, no. Listen to my fate, yo. Destined to be great, yo. We gon' make it all the way. We don't care what they all will say. Don't listen to the hate, no. Listen to my fate, yo. Yeah, we like to go.
Put me on ESPN, put me on top of the tank. Pilots again and again. No, I ain't here to make friends. Taking it straight to the bank. I'm like a shark in a tank. And if your girl misbehave, I'll give your girl a mistake. That's making me out of my head. I don't belong in my bed. I should be famous instead. I will not stop till I'm dead. Never let them hate. Tell them I'll be great. It's gotta be my fate. You can take it to the bank. I just wanna get it while I can. And when I get it, I'll be damned if I'ma let it get away without a fight. I got a plan.
We gon' make it all the way. We don't care what they all will say. Don't listen to the hate, no. Listen to my fate, yo. Destined to be great, yo. And we gon' make it all the way. We don't care what they all will say. Don't listen to the hate, no. Listen to my fate, yo. Yeah, we like to go hard.
See, and that's what I use. I use Flipstamp. If you guys want to get together sometime, let me know. We can do that. We can make it happen. I'll show you what I know.